Another hot and steamy day here from Goddard, Kansas, but the Corn Belt League here for day 2 of the Summer Ball Showdown as they'll take on the Dallas-Fort Worth Ravages here on field number 3 from the beautiful Genesis Health Sports Complex. I'm Ethan McCormick, joined alongside my good friend Arnav Pokhrel. Arnav lost the first game in pool play yesterday, 7-4. Tough loss. They scored 4 runs. The Mud Daubers scored 4 runs in the top of the 9th. They're looking to bounce back here today.
Yeah, and the issue last night was just unlucky batting timing. You had a bases-loaded situation in the bottom of the 6th inning, and you failed to convert. You only bring in 1 run off a Nick DeMonte infield hit, and a great stop by the Mud Daubers shortstop there to prevent more runs coming in for the Corn Belt League. And then pitching falls apart in the top of the 9th inning. Brecken Sylvain, who had pitched exceptional up until then, 2 innings in relief, comes in for that 3rd inning of relief and kind of loses his wheels a little bit. And then you bring in Nick Mersek, who's originally a starter. You bring him in relief from the Rail Riders. An incredible season with the Rail Riders. He couldn't get a single out to save his life, really. And then from there, you bring in a 3rd reliever in Dylan Novotny, who gets the job done, but he gives up a few more runs in the process. The Mud Daubers tack on 4 in the top of the 9th. The Corn Belt League falls in their opener 7-4. But once again, it's another day. It's another new opportunity. You're still guaranteed 2 more games. So you'll have this game, the final pool play game against the DFW Ravages from Dallas-Fort Worth. And then you're guaranteed at least 1 single elimination game if you're the Corn Belt League side. So not the worst thing in the world. You still got 2 games to try and figure things out and right the ship as you head towards single elimination play. And it's against the DFW Ravages team. And this team from Dallas did not do too hot yesterday. They lost by a total of 17-7. So they could get the hits. They were scoring runs, but the pitching absolutely falling apart. Ethan, I believe you mentioned before the game, they ran through 5 pitchers. The Corn Belt League did as well, but they ran through 5 pitchers in a pretty quick amount of time.
Yeah, they ran through 5 pitchers. They lost to the Midwest Moo yesterday. They were actually a part of one of the first games that was played here in the Summer Ball Showdown. They played in that 4 o'clock game. The heat was very hot yesterday. It got up to about 107 degrees. We got the nightcap today. Temperatures are supposed to be kind of in the 90s and creep down into the 80s throughout the time that we'll be playing this game. But talking to the players yesterday, they said that turf could kind of start radiating that heat. You think that heat could play a factor, or could the cool factor kind of maybe set in as well?
Well, I think the big thing tonight is we're starting at 8 p.m., so it's an hour later than last night. The sun is well beyond the tree line. It's still shining, but it's below the tree line. It's not going to affect the turf as much as it would yesterday. I think that'll be huge in terms of getting players enough reps, making sure they don't get affected by the heat as much as they did last night.
100%. We're going to step aside real quick. When we come back, we'll get starting lineups to you, and it'll be almost first pitch here from field number 3 at the Genesis Health Sports Complex right here on the Corn Belt League Network. to the Genesis Health Sports Complex. We're about 4 to 3 minutes away from first pitch here. Coaches meeting out on home plate with the Blue, and we got the head coach from the Ravages and Vern Hasty, who's coaching the Corn Belt League Omaha All-Stars. Let's run through some starting lineups. First, for the home team Ravages, who will be taking the field first in this ball game, J.J. Garcia will be batting first and playing shortstop today. Batting second, number 15, playing second base, D'Angelo Delvel. Batting third, playing left field, number 13, Jeremiah West. Batting fourth, the cleanup hitter, number 20, the designated hitter, Tanner Garcia. Batting fifth, playing catcher, one of the part of the battery, Samuel Estrada. Batting sixth, number 9, the right fielder, Michael Brookshire. Batting seventh, number 18, the hot corner third baseman, Chandler Martinez. Batting eighth, number 17, the first baseman, Austin Mitchell. And then rounding out the order, number 12, Gage Simmons will be playing center field. On the mound today for the Ravages, number 24, Ryan Bannett. Number 1, he will be the pitcher today for the Ravages. And then for your Corn Belt League All-Stars, as they will lead off, Chris Calhoun, he will be playing center field. Number 20, batting second, Carson Burnett will be playing the hot corner. Batting third, number 7, playing shortstop today, Nick Ripa. Batting fourth, playing first base, number 24, Jackson Yeager. Batting fifth, the man behind the plate today, number 22, Anthony Nino. Playing center field and batting sixth, number 11, Nick DeMonte. The designated hitter and batting seventh, number 1, Chris Bullifer. The right fielder and batting eighth, number 5, Cam Matson. And rounding out the 9 hitters today for the corner, second baseman, number 3, Braden Jackson. Then out on the mound today, getting the start for the Corn Belt League is Trevor Storr, who will be getting the start today for the Corn Belt League as they go up against this DFW Ravages. Dallas-Fort Worth, it might be noted that they made the drive all the way up from Dallas, Texas for this game, and that's a pretty long drive.
Yeah, standout performer from last night, really, and the guy who's batting cleanup tonight for the Corn Belt League, Jackson Yeager, came in about the 6th inning, and in 3 batting appearances, had a hit all 3 times. He's one of the most consistent hitters throughout this entire Corn Belt League season. He's done it all season long, and now he's looking to do it here. He already started off hot last night, and the hot hand gets the call in the cleanup spot tonight as well, and we're expecting a little bit more rotation as well from head coach Vern Hasty for this Corn Belt League side, just because, once again, you're battling heat, you're battling the fact that you could have potentially 2 games tomorrow if you don't win this game by enough runs. As we get set here for first pitch, and Chris Calhoun trots out to the batter's box.
Christopher Calhoun will get the nod for the leadoff spot today. Like mentioned just a couple minutes ago, he'll be playing center field and manning the turf out there. Yesterday he was leadoff, but was DH in that game. And
yeah, just another outfield option. You had Nick DeMonte in center last night. He gets moved over to left tonight, maybe trying to use that speed a little bit better as we slowly get things set for this game.
We're going to take a quick pause. We've got a national anthem. We'll step aside before Christopher Calhoun is mere moments away from first pitch here at the Genesis Health Sports Complex. national anthem done, and it is time for baseball here at the Genesis Health Sports Complex. As Christopher Calhoun was just stepping into the batter's box before the national anthem went off. But we are ready for first pitch here, as pitcher wanted one or two more warm-up pitches to make sure his arm was ready to go. So he got his one warm-up pitch, and Christopher Calhoun will step into the right-hander's batter's box. Had 2 stolen bases yesterday and a base hit in the Corn Belt 7-4 loss to the Valley Center Mud Daubers. First pitch from Bennett, and that one will be fouled down the right field line. Over by the food tent down the right field line, it'll be out of play.
Yeah, good aggressiveness there from Calhoun. First pitch you see, it's in the strike zone. You have to swing at it. And although it is a foul ball, it's good to get aggressive early on and show Bennett that you're here to play baseball. You're not here to watch pitches blow by you.
Breaking ball in there for strike 2. A beautiful pitch from Bennett. It'll be an 0-2 count here early for Christopher Calhoun.
Yeah, and 2 straight strikes. First one a foul ball, and then a strike with that big breaking ball from Bennett, and then he misses one there, low and away for 1-2.
1-2 pitch from Bennett to Calhoun. That ball will be grounded on over to third base. Christopher Calhoun is very quickly not able to play the ball. He'll get on first base. That'll be a foul ball. We're going to say that ball was touched foul.
Oh, wait here. See what happens with Calhoun, because I think the third baseman actually gloved it outside, gloved it while it was in fair play, and then the ball landed in foul territory. But, it looks like Calhoun will trot back over, so it is a foul ball, and it'll remain a 1-2 count. Unfortunate there for Calhoun. He beat out a really good throw, and I thought that one was played fair. Instead, it was played foul.
That's a very close call right there on the third base line, but Christopher Calhoun will step in the box ready for the 1-2. Curveball misses a little bit high and inside, and he's knotted the count up at 2 apiece. Just an unfortunate break right there for Christopher Calhoun, who had that rightfully beat at first, and he'll rope one into left field, but out of play on the field to our immediate left, and we'll do the 2-2 once again.
Yeah, well, once again, aggressiveness from Calhoun early on. It's what you want from your leadoff guy who's got a lot of speed. You want him to get on the base paths. You want him to test his pitcher early on, and Calhoun's doing that to the best of his ability.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and Christopher Calhoun swings and misses at strike number 3. After a 6-pitch at-bat to start, Christopher Calhoun gets the forward-facing K.
Yeah, just unfortunate there from Calhoun. A good at-bat, a quality at-bat. You force 6 pitches out of the pitcher in the leadoff man, but just unable to get on base. Once again, really unlucky that call over at third that hit off the third baseman's glove and landed in foul territory was ruled entirely in foul territory.
Next up, the man with the hot hand in yesterday's game reached base safely, and every time but once, Carson Burnett, the hot corner today, and he'll swing at miss. He'll ground one over to short. A diving stop at short. It will not be in time. Carson Burnett beats out an infield single, and he continues to stay hot up at the plate.
Yeah, an infield hit there for Burnett, who starts off the game extremely well. Just like he did yesterday, he reached base 4 out of the 5 times he was at the plate and starts this game off at first as well. And expect him to be dangerous there to steal as well. He had 8 steals on the Corn Belt League season, added 1 as well last night. And we'll bring up Nick Reap, the shortstop.
Nick Reap, the shortstop, will take strike 1 outside. Great effort by J.J. Garcia on that ground ball from Carson Burnett, however. Dove a little bit to his left to get to that one. But it'll be an 0-1 count for Repa.
Yeah, with that play happening, I mean, it's basically on that line between the infield turf and the outfield turf. That's a hard play to make, first off, and that's a hard throw to make as well.
Repa is off the great throw. Behind the plate gets Carson Burnett at second. A great throw from Samuel Estrada gets a running Carson Burnett.
Yeah, not what you want there if you're Burnett. A really bad jump to get things started. The pitcher goes through his motions, and Burnett doesn't leave until the ball's out of the pitcher's hands. Not what you want there as a base runner.
1-1 count to Repa with a fresh canvas, and he'll watch ball 2 outside.
Yeah, Repa's just got to be disciplined here. You saw the first 2 batters get out, 1 on a strikeout, 1 on a caught steal, and you're just trying to reach on base and extend the inning.
As Repa will foul that one high in the air, that ball will creep out of play, and we'll do the 2-ball, 2-strike, 2-out pitch.
That one almost making contact with pedestrian out there. Hoping that everyone's okay out there. It looked like it just missed him and hit the concrete.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Nick Repa. And he will hit that one into right field. That ball could drop in there, and it will not. Great play by the second baseman out there, D'Angelo Dalval, and that will go to the bottom of the first. Corn Belt League strand no one, but they get one hit as we go to the bottom of the first right here on the Corn Belt League Network. Bottom of the first here from Genesis Health Sports Complex, and the Corn Belt League will take the field for the first time in this ball game, and leading the defense out there on this one will be Trevor Storer, who comes into this ball game.
Yeah, Trevor Storer, the man from Northeast Community College up in Norfolk, Nebraska, went to Lincoln East High School, so a Nebraska product through and through, playing his college ball in Omaha, summer ball in Omaha as well, and this season with the Omaha Black Sox and 36 and 2/3 innings pitched. He had 10 games appeared in and started 7 of them, so a guy who's used to starting in these situations. 2-0 on the season, so 2 decisions going his way. A 4.173 ERA, gave up 17 earned runs, 21 walks to 30 strikeouts. A little bit high of a strike-to-walkout ratio, but you're still getting more than 1 strikeout per walk, so it's not the worst thing in the world for Storer, who steps in on the mound today looking to go at least a good 3-4 innings, set up your relief guys. We know Drew Bex is in line, as well as Ryan Malone in line, to get a couple of those final few innings as we set up for that first elimination game tomorrow.
Storer was second on the Black Sox in innings pitched this season. He was only 3 innings behind Dylan Novotny, as he gets ready to deliver the first pitch to J.J. Garcia, and he will throw it high for ball 1.
Unlucky there for Storer. He's been trying to find that inside half of the plate, and we know the umpires here have loved the inside half, but doesn't get the call there.
The 1-0 to Garcia. That ball will not be in there. It'll be ball 2.
Yeah, falling behind early for Storer, not where you want to be if you're Trevor Storer. You got to rear back, fire a couple strikes, and those first few strikes are always the hardest to get. You're a little bit nervous starting on the mound.
The 2-0 to Trevor Storer. That ball will be hit into right center field. That ball will drop for a base hit. Splits the 8-9 gap perfectly as Christopher Calhoun gets it in time, and J.J. Garcia leads things off for the Ravages with the leadoff double.
Yeah, he absolutely pieced that one up into right center field. Got it to bounce all the way to the warning track. Nothing that the center fielder for the Corn Belt League, Chris Calhoun, could do. Even with his speed out there in center field, was not able to get there in time, and so Storer gives off a leadoff double.
Next, we got D'Angelo Deval up to the plate, who is a primary pitcher at Trade. He threw 5 innings in their loss yesterday, but is getting the nod today at second base.
We'll see how aggressive Garcia gets on the base pads. He did knock a triple yesterday, so we know he's got a little bit of speed. He was 1 for 5 yesterday. Starts off today 1 for 1. So a little bit of speed there as the leadoff man, and you're at second. You might want to try and push his catcher, see if you can catch a catcher sleeping here early on in the game.
1 ball, no strikes to Deval. And he will check swing, but it'll be a strike called nonetheless. It'll be a 1-1 count.
Yeah, good work there from Storer. Finally getting those strikes in there.
One ball, 1 strike to D'Angelo Val with J.J. Garcia leading off a second. Storer looks back, delivers the pitch. That ball will be inside for ball 2.
Yeah, Storer's been trying to find the inside half of the plate. Just really cannot locate that inside pitch right now. But you don't want to leave it hanging over the plate because you know hitters like Garcia and Del Val, like Garcia just did, can turn on them.
2 balls, 1 strike. That ball will be grounded on over the third. Carson Burnett gets it, throws it on over in time to Jackson Yeager, who applies the tag a little bit off the bag. Runner advances 90 more feet is Garcia, so score that one a 5-3 ground out.
Yeah, but advancing the runner, not the worst thing in the world. If you're Del Val, there's only 1 out now in the inning, and you've got a guy in scoring position with 2 batters at least to try and get him in.
Jeremiah West now steps up to the plate, the 3-hole hitter who went 0 for 1 in their loss yesterday to the Midwest Moo. J.J. Garcia leads off of third, and Jeremiah West watches ball 1 in the turf.
Yeah, Storer's lost of control a little bit here early on in this game. You want to get him at least past the first inning, get those nerves out of the way, and allow him to get back into the dugout, have a conversation with head coach Vern Hasty, just talk about calming things down. You know you've got the offense to back you. You just got to go out there and throw your strikes.
1 ball, no strikes to Jeremiah West, and he will rope that one down the left field line, but that'll be well out of play. It'll be strike 1.
Yeah, and these Dallas-Fort Worth Ravages are really seeing the ball well here out of Storer's hand. I don't know if it's maybe just something with his release that they're able to get a good read on, but they are piecing the ball up right now.
1 ball, 1 strike to Jeremiah West. Here's the pitch. That ball will be grounded up the middle. Carson Burnett will come over and range over and throw on over in time. Applies the tag. Back-to-back plays from Burnett over to Yeager, where Yeager had to apply a tag on the line. Nonetheless, J.J. Garcia comes home to score the first run of the ball game and the first run of the ball game for the Ravages as they jump out to a 1-0 advantage.
Yeah, the Ravages get on first, but it's a position where the Cornbelt League's pretty used to. They gave up the first run yesterday as well, but it clears the bases for the cleanup hitter, Tanner Garcia.
Tanner Garcia, the cleanup hitter, will watch strike 1 outside. Storer gets up early, 0-1.
This is where Storer needs to be. He needs to be ahead of these batters here early on, especially in a 2-out situation.
The 0-1, that ball will be in the dirt as Nino's not able to get a glove on it. It'll be 1-1. No runners on. Blank canvas here for Tanner Garcia as the Ravages were able to put 1 on the board here in the bottom of the first. The Corn Belt League with plenty of chances as the 1-1 from Storer will miss outside. It'll be 2-1.
And after starting off ahead 0-1, 2 straight balls from Tanner Black to push it to 2-1, and he's falling behind again. Just needs to rear back, throw a couple strikes here to finish off the inning.
2 balls, 1 strike. That ball will catch the outside part of plate. Nice pitch from Trevor Storer. It'll be a 2-2 count here to Tanner Garcia. Two balls, 2 strikes. Trevor Storer strides home with the pitch, the curveball. It'll split the gap as Tanner Garcia gets a base knock to keep the bottom of the first alive. As that ball was a slow roller, but Yeager not able to get over in time, and Braden Jackson wasn't able to get over as well. Be a ground ball.
Yeah, just getting contact, putting bats on balls here. Trevor Storer looks a little bit rattled out there to start this game off. Just once again, though, you've got 2 outs. You just got to put the third one away.
The man behind the dish today for the Ravages, batting in the 5-hole position, number 21, Samuel Estrada, steps up to the plate. Estrada went 1 for 3 with a double and 2 RBIs and a walk yesterday. The pitch, that ball will be in there for strike 1.
Good start again to an at-bat for Storer, but the question is now, can he finish off the batter here as he still searches for his first strikeout? Got 2 defensive assists there from Burnett at third for the 2 outs of the inning so far.
As Storer looks back at first, the 0-1 delivers home. It'll be outside for ball 1.
Just missing there on the outside corner of the plate, trying to replicate the pitch he just threw, the pitch before that went in there for a strike. As he now sits with a 1-1.
The 1-1. That ball will be hit very well into center field. Christopher Calhoun plays it off the hop. That'll be another single for the Ravages. Back-to-back singles keeps the bottom of the first alive.
Yeah, and it pushes a runner into scoring position in Garcia and brings up the right fielder, Michael Brookshire.
Michael Brookshire did not record any at-bats or any plate appearances yesterday's game. First time Brookshire has made an appearance in the Summer Ball Showdown to date. And he has runners on first and second. Prime opportunity to add some more runs here. The bottom of the first. Storr delivers home in the dirt and low for ball one.
Yeah, Storr's really struggled with that first pitch today and just really needs to step things up here as he continues on in this first inning with 2 outs.
The 1-0 from Storr to Brookshire. The pitch. That ball will be hit on over to first, and Yeager can't corral it. That ball will get into right field as the runner is going to be waved home, and it'll be thrown into third, and he will get the tag down in time. The run will come across the score, so it'll be an RBI single for Michael Brookshire, but Estrada will be out advancing from first to third. So it'll be an assist in right field for Cam Madsen, but it'll be another RBI for the Ravages. And we go to the top of the second. The Corn Belt League looks to respond here on the Corn Belt League Network. Due up for the Corn Belt League here in the top of the second. Yeager, Nino, and DeMonte will be the next 3 due up for the Corn Belt League here in the top of the second after the Ravages put 2 runs on 4 hits, and Yeager watches ball 1 inside. Very close call for Yeager right there on the inside part of the plate.
And like we said, Yeager yesterday, an extremely productive night after coming in and covering for Rivers over at first base. Well, 2 for 2, I believe 3 for 3, on the night for Yeager as he now looks at a 1-0 count.
As Yeager just barely fouls that one down the third base line, it'll be a 1-2 count here for Yeager. And Bennett has really worked efficiently out there on the mound to date so far. He's worked quickly, hasn't done a lot of deep counts, but the 1-2 for Yeager, and he will crush that one down the left field line, but it'll be well out of play. We'll do the 1-2 once again.
Wichita, Kansas might be Yeager's sweet spot here. I mean, he's been absolutely mashing the ball, and even just then, even though it is foul, he absolutely caught all of that one, just it was a second or two late.
The 1-2, and Yeager fouls that one into the field to our immediate right. And the umpire looks for some new baseballs, but Yeager he's ready to go. He's in the batter's box, or was in the batter's box, ready to take some hacks, but you have to wait for the umpire. It'll be a 1-2 count for Yeager. The pitch in the dirt, good eye by Yeager.
Yeah, that one always tailing away from the plate. That was never going to hit the zone, and Yeager, good discipline there to not go chasing after that one.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Jackson Yeager, the starting first baseman today, and he will hit that one right over our heads in the press box. It'll stay 2-2.
Once again, Yeager just seeing the ball extremely well. Just needs to get that ball in play, and it'll be a good base hit for him.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Jackson Yeager. That ball will be hit up the middle. Diving stop by J.J. Garcia. What a stop. That ball will be In time, what a play up the middle by J.J. Garcia. The diving stop to his left. Gets up and throws out Jackson Yeager in time for a beautiful out number one.
Yeah, and the one thing you lose out on when you put Yeager in is that little bit of speed you want on the base pads. Yeager's not the fastest guy. If that's a guy like Calhoun, if that's a guy like Burnett or even DeMonte, that hit is going to be an infield hit, but Garcia able to make the diving stop, get up quickly, good transfer over to his right hand, and fires over for the first out of the inning.
As Nino steps up to the plate, the starting catcher for today's ball game watches ball one high. Wish we had a camera on for that beautiful play we saw from J.J. Garcia up the middle. Nino watches strike one outside.
Yeah, and it just seems like it's been a common theme. These defenses that the Corn Belt League go up against, they have some incredible defensive plays. We saw a couple yesterday as well.
Nino watches ball two outside.
And just getting unlucky with all these web gems that we're seeing in the outfield today, in the infield as well.
2 balls, 1 strike to Anthony. Ball 3 misses outside. A quick 3-1 advantage for Anthony Nino.
Yeah, Nino is a really disciplined hitter at the plate. He'll wait for his pitch to come, and then when it comes, he absolutely rocks it. He was just one of the most unlucky hitters in the Corn Belt League this season. 13 RBIs on a batting average of just .190 going into the playoffs.
And he will lace that one into left field. That ball will drop for a base hit, and Anthony Nino will get the first base runner of the inning for the Corn Belt League All-Stars after a nice left field single.
Yeah, and right on cue, Nino just absolutely crushes that one into left, and Nino heading over to first with another hit in this tournament for him, and he gets the nod at starting catcher today, although the catchers we assume will be rotated here in and out, as head coach Ren Hasty is still searching for that hot hand everywhere across the lineup.
Starting left fielder Nick DeMonte will look at strike number 1. DeMonte had a very nice game at the plate, but made a web gem catch in center field in last night's ball game.
Yeah, an absolute stunner of a catch. He was running to his left, absolute burners on DeMonte.
After the throwdown by the catcher, Estrada tries to catch a sleeping Nino. A little catcher trying to throw out a catcher action. Call on the pitch was a ball outside, so it'll be a 1-1 count.
Yeah, I think Nino is very disciplined on the base paths as well. He knows what a catcher likes because he's a catcher himself, and so don't expect Nino to get caught out.
Base hit up the middle. Chance to turn to the 6, the 4, and the 3 gets him in time as the Nick DeMonte hits into a inning-ending double play as we go to the bottom of the second, and the Ravages can tack on to their 2-0 advantage right here on the Corn Belt League Network. Bottom of the second here from Genesis Health Sports Complex, and Trevor Storer goes out there for his second inning of work. Gave up 2 runs on 4 hits in that bottom of the first inning. Looks to get things back on track.
Yeah, it was just not the start of the game you want if you're Trevor Storer. But he's been in these types of situations. Obviously, as a college pitcher, you're going to have outings where you give up a few runs in those first few innings. He's just got to lock in, forget about the first inning, lock in here in the second, throw his pitches, throw strikes, and get these batters out.
Chandler Martindale will lead things off for the Ravages, and he watched ball 1 as Storer works quickly out on the mound and delivers the second pitch. It'll be low again for ball 2.
Yeah, once again, the pitch clock coming in effect here in this tournament at the Genesis Health Club Sports Complex here in Goddard, Kansas. Players are used to it in the NCAA rules. However, the Corn Belt League, no pitch clock, so a bit of an adjustment for some of these guys.
As Chandler Martindale will rope that one between the 3-4 gap, and that'll be a leadoff single for Chandler Martindale. As the Ravages have just been able to hit the ball at will. That's 5 base hits. And the bottom of the second inning, as Austin Mitchell, the starting first baseman, will get the nod here at the plate. First time we've seen him here today. Martindale leads off of first, inches a little bit further from the bag. Storer comes home. Breaking ball misses just outside for ball 1.
Yeah, and Storer is struggling to locate those pitches right now. He's just got to find his zone. He's a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit rattled there on the mound right now.
As Storer comes set with Martindale leading off of first. That ball will be in there for strike 1. Nice pitch from Storer. It'll knock the count up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, good recovery pitch there. You go down 1-0 and you bring it back to 1-1. Now you got to get ahead here, 1-2. That's the hard part here for Trevor Storer.
1 ball, 1 strike for Trevor Storer to Austin Mitchell. Martindale gets a lead. Ball in the dirt. Nino comes up but does not throw. It'll be a 2-1 count. Got to think that a ground ball for the Corn Belt League up the middle would be an ideal play here. 2 balls, 1 strike. Storer awaits his sign from Anthony. Comes set. Strides home. That ball will be by Anthony Nino, who tries to pick it, but it gets by him, and it'll be a 3-1 count, but Chandler Martindale advances 90 more feet on the pass ball.
Yeah, just a wild pitch there from Storer, and trying to back pick. He's not the most agile catcher. He's not going to slide over and make those body stops. He's going to try and pick those off just because he can't really slide over the best, and it'll push a runner over to second.
3 balls, 1 strike here to Austin Mitchell. The delivery. That ball will be grounded on over to first. Yeager has to make an athletic play, throws on over in time, cannot get to the bag. Are they going to call him out? They will. An athletic play from Jackson Yeager and another athletic play from Trevor Storer for the 3-1 ground out by Austin Mitchell.
It'll push the runner Martindale over to third, but I'm going to be honest with you, Ethan. I didn't think that one was there in time. I thought Storer got caught up in his feet a little bit there and didn't get his foot on the bag before the runner got to the bag. And you can see Austin Mitchell kind of saying the same thing. He's saying, I touched the bag before Storer did, but either way, the umpire rules it an out. Only 2 umpires, 1 behind home and 1 on the field, and he saw an out. So we'll take it here with the Corn Belt League as they get their first out of the bottom of the second.
Gage Simmons steps up to the plate, and he'll rope that one into right field for a base hit, and that'll score the 3rd run of the ball game for the Ravages, and they're up to a 3-0 advantage.
Yeah, the Ravages are just absolutely pounding at Trevor Storer right now. They're getting everything they want. Trevor Storer, nothing he's trying is going to work, and it'll be an early call here to Vern Hasty. He'll go out and have a meeting at the mound. You've already got action in the bullpen for the Corn Belt League. We'll wait to get a number on that as we try and see what's going on with Trevor Storer. Giving up 3 runs in the first 2 half innings, inning and a third, really, and still has a runner on first.
Like you said, as Trevor Storer has not really had anything working quite yet, he's going to stay out there after giving up 3 runs on 6 hits here through 1 1/3 inning. And we go back to the top of the order with J.J. Garcia, who doubled and later came around to score for the Ravages.
Yeah, we'll see how J.J. Garcia can do. He had an extremely good hit to start things off, start the game off for the Ravages as they brought him around, and he scored the first run of the ball game for the side from Dallas.
After the first pitch was in there for a strike, it'll be an 0-1 count here as the Corn Belt League has dug themselves a 3-0 hole to the DFW Ravages. No balls, 1 strike. That ball will be hit right over Yeager's head. And that ball will get by for a base hit, and J.J. Garcia will think about rounding first, heading to second, but it'll hold up as we will see Gage Simmons go from first to third. We got runners at the corners here with 1 out, and the 7th hit for the Ravages here in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and they are just seeing the ball come out of Storer's hands exceptionally well.
Yeah, Storer is not having a great night out there on the mound. He's given up 7 hits already in this one. The Corn Belt League only with 1 hit on the offensive side, and here comes head coach Vern Hasty again, and it looks like it'll be another meeting here with Storer, just not his night, and he'll head back out. It'll be the end of the night for Storer here in the bottom of the 2nd, and we'll see a new pitcher in for the Corn Belt League here soon.
We'll get you a new pitcher right here on the Corn Belt League Network in a mere couple moments. Welcome back to the Genesis Health Sports Complex as the Corn Belt League had to make a pitching change in the bottom of the 2nd, and they give the call to Dylan Novotny, who pitched a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, Storer got absolutely rocked there and given up 7 hits through 1 1/3 innings. Just was not his night. Control-wise, not his night. He's throwing strikes, but Dallas-Fort Worth Ravages just seeing the ball as soon as it comes out of his hand. You make the call to Novotny, 42 innings pitched, so you go from one Black Sox pitcher to another Black Sox pitcher, and the Black Sox pitcher that had more innings pitched this entire season. Novotny also had an appearance last night, pitched a little bit in that 9th inning, gave up a few runs to the Mud Daubers as they came back in the 9th to win that one 7-4.
After Anthony Nino tries to throw out J.J. Garcia, and that ball will get by him, and another run will come across to score as Gage Simmons can just easily walk home. An error on the throw from Anthony Nino, and it's now a 4-0 game, Ravages.
Yeah, Ravages are absolutely doing work here on the offensive side of the ball. Just smart base running. I don't know why Nino's throwing there with runners on the corners and only 1 away. But either way, it's just poor play here from the Omaha team.
The ball is in there for strike number 1. It'll be a 1-1 count.
Score now sits 4-0 for the Ravages in just 2 half innings of play.
The 1-1 from Novotny. That ball will be swung on and missed. Novotny loads the gas up for D'Angelo Deval. It'll be a 1-1 count.
And that's one thing you do get with Novotny. You get a little bit more velocity here on the pitching mound in terms of comparing him to Storr, who you just took out if you're Coach Vern Hasey.
One ball, 2 strikes to Dylan Novotny. Novotny misses outside. It'll be 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I don't hate that pitch from Novotny. You're trying to get that batter to chase here as Del Val continues to dig into the batter's box with a 2-2 count.
2 balls, 2 strikes to D'Angelo DeVal right here from Dylan Novotny. Novotny comes home. That ball will be swung on and miss. That'll be the first strikeout for the Corn Belt League today, and that comes at a big time as there's now 2 outs.
Yeah, and a huge strikeout there for Novotny. Get his confidence up from yesterday as well. He got rocked a little bit yesterday against the Mud Daubers, gave a few bad walks, and so big for him, a guy who's a starter, to come in early on and get a strikeout that'll hopefully push him further and further in the game.
Jeremiah West steps up to the plate, grounded out to Carson Burnett at third in his last at bat, and he swings and misses at a Dylan Novotny changeup. It'll be an 0-1 count.
And Novotny's done extremely well since coming in. These last 2 batters has worked his pitches well, found his locations well, and he's looking ready to go here for the 0-1.
0-1 from Dylan Novotny, who is notorious for working at his own pace out on the mound. That ball will be in there for ball number 1.
Yeah, we mentioned it before, the pitch clock coming into effect, and well, Novotny's a guy who likes to take his time, and so he's getting rushed a little bit by that timer that's in his head saying you only have 20 seconds to throw this ball.
1 ball, 1 strike. That ball will be beautifully put in there for strike number 2. Dylan Novotny is worked up, a 1-2 count.
Yeah, I love that from Novotny, that little outside to inside movement from Novotny to push that one on the inside half of the plate for the second strike.
1 ball, 2 strikes, Dylan Novotny, the payoff pitch. That ball will be hit into right field, and that ball will drop for a base hit, and the Ravages continue to pour it on the Corn Belt League All-Stars here as they've gone 5 runs and 8 hits here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, Novotny's not going to be charged for that one. That one's still going to sit on Trevor Storr's ERA, but it's a 5-run lead now for the Ravages as they take a commanding lead in this one.
The Corn Belt League has gotten shelled up to this point as Dylan Novotny misses low to ball 1 for Tanner Garcia. Can't let this game get out of hand as Novotny will throw the 1-0 in there for strike number 1.
Another good pitch there from Novotny as he works that outside to inside movement against Estrada.
Samuel Estrada had a single up the middle in his last at bat that brought home a run. He will watch ball 1 or ball 2 almost in the same exact spot as the last strike.
Correction there, that's Garcia.
It should be Tanner Garcia. Excuse me. Ball 3 misses outside.
Yeah, that is totally on me there. Totally just skipped over a name there in my scorebook as we see Garcia at the plate here, the designated hitter.
3 balls, 1 strike to Tanner Garcia. Garcia had a single in his last at-bat, got stranded at second base. Over his head, that'll be a 5-pitch walk for Tanner Garcia. And runners on first and second for the Ravages.
And Novotny losing his control a little bit, just like he did last night when he came in relief as well. You got to think for a guy who's a starter throughout the entirety of the summer to have to come in relief, just maybe not the same mindset as you do when you start and you have the whole day to prepare. You're getting called on a dime here. You got to go and adjust, make adjustments on the fly when you're pitching in relief, and it's a little bit different than pitching a starting outing, and so Novotny's got to change here quickly.
Novotny throws one in there. It'll be fouled back out of play for strike number 1 to Samuel Estrada.
And now Estrada up with 2 on. Last time up, he had a very sharply hit single to left field, and so I'll try and do the same here with 2 on and 1 in scoring position.
Samuel Estrada gets ready for the 0-1. Outside, but for ball 1.
Yeah, Novotny trying to place these pitches outside, get these runners to chase, but This Ravages team, one of the best in the VIBL, the league that they play in, and showing it here early on.
The 1-ball, 1 strike to Dylan Novotny, or from Dylan Novotny, excuse me. In there for strike 2, a nice breaking ball from Dylan Novotny.
Yeah, that's been Novotny's go-to pitch when he needs a strike, just that outside to inside movement, like I've said over and over again. Novotny does it really well, working inside to the plate, catching these hitters off guard. You see them kind of watch that pitch, expecting it to come towards them, maybe even well inside and hit them, but instead it drops in there for a strike.
Dylan Novotny throws it in there. That ball will be lifted out of play. It'll be it'll stay a 1-2 count.
Yeah, big fastball there from Novotny. You throw a couple off-speed pitches, you want to draw him off guard, and then you hit him with that speed. Good adjustment there from Estrada just to even make contact, although he was very late on that ball. Sent that one well out on the first base side, and he'll go again here with a 1-2.
The 1-2 from Dylan Novotny to that ball will be fouled back into the netting.
So it'll be another 1-2 pitch here for Novotny. He already worked up a pretty high pitch count here as he just came in relief earlier on in this inning. He was only pitched a third of an inning so far. We're only recorded 1 out. Story got the first out. Early on in the inning, it was a ground out to the first baseman that he then stepped on the bag for, and that felt like ages ago, Ethan. It's been a very, very long first 2 innings for the Corn Belt League.
That indeed, as that ball will be absolutely roped into left field, but it'll be a foul ball, and we'll do the 1-2 once again.
Yeah, third straight foul ball there from Estrada after getting to the 1-2 count, so it's a 6-pitch at-bat already. Now we'll head over to pitch number 7.
Pitch number 7 of the at-bat to Samuel Estrada. It'll be a 1-ball, 2-strike count. 1-2 pitch. That ball will be hit high in the air. That ball will creep out of play. We'll do the 1-2 once again. 8th pitch coming up here in the at-bat.
Yeah, Novotny just got to get back. You're still well ahead in the count with a 1-2. Maybe try and get Estrada to chase that one, a breaking ball that you try and push outside of the zone. Try and get him to chase here on 1 as you look to close out this bottom of the second inning with no damage done.
We'll do the 1-2 once again. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up to Estrada. And not catch that outside part of the plate. Just missed. It'll be 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, don't hate it there from Novotny. You've already thrown a good amount of pitches on the inside, and you try and change the horizontal level a bit by going outside, and it just misses the plate. Try and getting Estrada to chase.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and a very long but a good quality AB for Samuel Estrada. Misses outside for ball 3. For Novotny's gone back-to-back balls to now work down in the count.
Yeah, and now after being ahead in the count 1-2, Novotny now sitting at a full count. You got to throw your best pitch here for Novotny. I'm expecting breaking ball outside to inside, try and catch that inner half of the plate.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Dylan Novotny. Runners are off. That ball will be called strike 3 looking. Dylan Novotny gets him out of a runners on first and second jam. Corn Belt League got to get the bats going here in the top of the 3rd. Bullifer, Madsen, Jackson will lead things off for the Corn Belt League, who have gone 6 up, 6 down, and only 1 hit for the respective squad.
Yeah, that hit coming from Carson Burnett, who was then caught stealing at second by a great throw from the catcher Estrada.
That ball will be in there for ball 1 to Chris Bullifer, who you normally see him behind the plate, but today the starting DH, Anthony Nino, getting the nod behind the plate as Bullifer will swing and miss at strike 1.
Yeah, Bullifer, one of the better hitting catchers on this Corn Belt League team, was one of the better hitting catchers throughout this entire season, I should say, for the Corn Belt League as well.
Bullifer will look at ball number 2.
Working ahead here in a 2-1 count. You just got to be smart here if you're Bullifer. Don't go chasing after those outside pitches. Just find your groove.
2-1. Catches the outside part of the plate. A little lenient call right there. It'll be a 2-2 count.
Yeah, I thought that ball was more outside than the last pitch that was called a ball, but that one is called a strike, and it sits 2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes. That ball will be well inside. Backs Bullifer off the plate. Full count pitch here from Bennett, who has been stellar so far up to this point, has gone 6 up, 6 down.
Got a little bit of help from the defense as well.
As Bullifer swings at a pitch outside for strike number 3, the forward-facing K, and that's the second strikeout of the game for Ryan Bennett.
Yeah, Bennett has been on his groove today. He's caught these Corn Belt League hitters at a bad time, really, and it'll bring up Cam Madsen.
Cam Madsen, who was the hit leader in the Corn Belt League this season, as we see a ball land right in the net right in front of us. As yesterday we didn't see a lot of balls enter play, and Cam Madsen will watch strike 1 in there.
Yeah, we got a bit lucky yesterday with the amount of balls being very low that came in play. I don't think we had a single one actually come in and affect play, but I'm sure we sent a lot out there because we were hitting foul balls left, right, and center last night. The Corn Belt League team was putting the bat to balls, just couldn't put it in play against the Valley Center Mud Daubers.
Quick work. Last pitch was a strike, and Ryan Bennett was already ready to go. So an 0-2 for Cam Madsen is underway. That ball will be missed outside for ball number 1. It'll be 1-2 count. Pitcher Ryan Bennett has been working very fast, very quickly out on the mound. No wasted time. Madsen will just foul that one back into the netting. 1-2.
Yeah, Madsen was very late on that one. Caught off speed there by that fast pitch, the fastball there from Bennett. A really good low pitch on the lower half of the zone.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Madsen, and he swings and misses. Foul ball, just tipped it. Is Madsen, excuse me. We'll do the 1-2 once again.
Yeah, I think he tipped it, and then it hit off of Madsen's foot, so it just kind of got lost in our eyesight for a second before dribbling out into the field of play. Madsen walking that one off a little bit, and we'll go again on the 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Madsen just misses outside. It'll be 2 balls, 2 strikes. A good-looking pitch from Ryan Bennett. That ball was called a strike not too long ago. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Madsen in the dirt in the other batter's box. It'll be a full count. Back-to-back balls watched by Madsen.
Yeah, Madsen, good eye there at the plate to just have good discipline, hang back, let the pitches come to him. And now he's worked a full count with only 1 away here in the top of the 3rd.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Cam Madsen. That ball will be grounded up the middle. That ball will get through for a base hit. And Madsen will record his first hit of the game, the second hit for the Corn Belt League here. And it comes in the top of the 3rd on a full count.
Yeah, and it'll bring up Braden Jackson, who has struggled, to say the least, here on this tournament in Goddard, Kansas. He's not hit the best for this Corn Belt League team, but you got to believe in a guy who won the chip with the Red Raiders and a guy who can hold down the second base position extremely well. Was not credited with an error yesterday, although there was one we believe should have been credited to him earlier on in that game that tipped off his glove that was ruled an infield hit.
First pitch to Jackson, gets inside and beams him, so ball gets a little too far in there, and that is a first pitch hit by pitch by Braden Jackson. What a way to get on. Now we got runners on first and second with the ever so dangerous Christopher Calhoun. A lot of speed out there on the base paths.
Yeah, you want to talk about fast runners, Madsen, Jackson, and now you got Calhoun at the plate. A lot of guys who are not afraid to steal bases, but right now I think head coach Vern Hasty, the idea is just get hits. You don't want to risk base running mistakes causing you outs.
So that ball is in the dirt, as we've seen a significant drop-off in command between the windup and the stretch for Ryan Bennett. Since he's gotten the stretch, a lot more balls in the dirt outside. Hit Jackson on the first pitch. as Christopher Calhoun will get ready for the pitch. That ball will be hit right back into the netting, right behind him for a 1-1 count.
Yeah, good-looking pitch there and a good-looking swing from Calhoun. Just got under it just a touch, you know. When those balls get fouled straight behind you, you've located it well and you've timed it well. You just missed it by a couple inches up or down.
1 ball, 1 strike to Christopher Calhoun. That ball will be in the dirt. That ball will get by Samuel Estrada. Runners advance 90 more feet. Madsen off a third, and we got Braden Jackson off a second. Christopher Calhoun has an opportunity here with runners on second and third and 1 out.
Yeah, and how huge is that? It takes away that double play ball, the risk of if you hit a ground ball, it's going to be a double play, and now you're working with a 2-1. A ground ball will bring a run in, hopefully, as you sit down 5 here in the top of the third.
2 balls, 1 strike, and Christopher Calhoun will get that one into right field. That ball will be dived for and caught, and Madsen will come home. There will be a play at the plate, and he'll get there in time. Beautiful play in right field by Michael Brookshire. That ball drops it, brings home 2, but nonetheless, the Corn Belt League get a run across the board after the sac fly.
Yeah, it'll be ruled a sac fly there for Calhoun, but he did a good work there of just getting the bat to the ball and putting it in the outfield. Brookshire was playing a little bit closer than you normally expect, and that's how he was able to get there with that sliding catch. Just kind of breadbasketed it into his body, into his glove, and kept the ball off the ground. Incredible play right there from Brookshire. Still got a runner on second if you're the Corn Belt League, and now you bring up Carson Burnett.
Carson Burnett, who continues to stay hot up at the plate, will step in with runners on second here, and he'll watch ball 1 go right by his chin. Be a 1-0 count.
Good amount of speed there at second, and Braden Jackson as well. You just don't want to be caught sleeping there if you're out on the field right now in Jackson.
The 1-0 to Carson Burnett. That ball will be swung on and missed. Burnett gave a good hack at it, but could not quite get the lumber on it. It'll be a 1-1 count.
Yeah, and Burnett is okay. He's comfortable after swinging and missing. He'll step out of the box, take his time, readjust, and step back in. Mentally, one of the strongest hitters you'll see in this Corn Belt League side.
As Bennett will just look back, Braden Jackson. That'll be his first time out. He will have no more of this at-bat as he comes set for Burnett. Burnett gets ready for it. Will swing and miss. Another good hack at it, but just a little behind. It'll be a 1-2 count now to Burnett.
Yeah, Burnett not happy with missing that one on the outside half of the plate. Really a good opportunity for him to barrel that one up and send Jackson flying to third. Instead, it's a 1-2 count.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Carson Burnett. The payoff pitch for Burnett, it'll be high and outside. Nodded the count up at 2 apiece.
And Burnett will try and work back in this one, but he's got to protect the plate still, obviously down to your last strike in an inning. Although you have scored 1 here if you're the Corn Belt League.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Burnett. Burnett will take that curveball and sky it off into the Corn Belt League bullpen. We'll do the 2-2 once again.
Yeah, that bullpen well out in the open in foul territory. That's why they've got a second bullpen set all the way back underneath the foul pole on the right and left field sides, just because you don't want to run the risk of an errant foul ball hitting a pitcher in a bullpen that's really close to the dugout.
Carson Burnett will await the 2-2, and he'll swing and miss at strike number 3. Well, the Corn Belt League are able to get some runs on the board. Run on 1 hit, 1 man stranded on second base. We go to the bottom of third, and the Corn Belt League looks to keep the damage right where it's at. to the Genesis Health Sports Complex here in the bottom of the third inning. The Corn Belt League was able to get a run on in the top of the third. And Dylan Novotny looks to keep the damage right where it's at here, the bottom of the third.
The one thing about Novotny, he'll give you fastballs, and he'll give you breaking balls, and those two are his main two pitches as he sets in here for the first pitch of the inning.
As Michael Brookshire will swing and miss at strike number one. Like you said, Novotny, very potent fastball. He'll blow that right by you. You got to make sure you're timing that up. We got a prime example on strike number one, and we're ready for the second pitch. The fastball catches the outside part of the plate. 2 quick strikes for Dylan Novotny here in this at-bat.
And Novotny's one of those guys, after he throws 2 fastballs by, he'll go again with the third. He's not going to try and go off speed here.
As he goes with the off speed, but misses outside for ball number one.
I stand corrected there. Novotny does go off speed outside half the plate, just misses. Usually he's a guy who just likes to blow 3 fastballs by and say goodnight, but instead he'll set for the 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball doesn't miss too far outside, but it knocks the count up at 2 apiece. We got 2 balls, 2 strikes right here to Michael Brookshire.
2 straight off-speed pitches. I want to see Novotny get back to that fastball.
We'll see if Novotny can go back to the fastball right here on the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. That ball will be in there for strike 3. A beautiful breaking ball. It gets the backwards K on Michael Brookshire. That'll be the second strikeout for Dylan Novotny.
Yeah, second strikeout and the second consecutive strikeout as well. He ended the inning with a backwards K against Estrada. Comes through and throws, that's his 3rd strikeout of the game.
Yep, my bad.
But second consecutive one, this one to Brookshire, and he'll bring up Martindale.
Chandler Martindale steps up to the plate. Martindale is 1 for 1 with the single that brought home a run, and he will watch a fastball right down the middle for strike number 1.
Yeah, not afraid to go after you is Novotny, just saying, hey, here's a fastball. If you can get it, hit it.
Novotny will throw that breaking ball in there, gets Martindale stumbling. He was kind of looks like he was on ice skates right there. That breaking ball froze him up for strike number 2. We got an 0-2 count right here. Dylan Novotny, leg kick, the pitch. That ball will be in there for strike 3. Back-to-back-to-back Ks, and that is a big strikeout swinging for Dylan Novotny.
And Novotny is absolutely feeling himself now on the mound. You know that as a starter, he's a guy who's not used to coming into the middle of an inning. He gets that little bit of rest, gets himself mentally prepared to come out in this bottom of the third inning, and he's been throwing absolute gas right now. Fastballs, the breaking balls, everything's working here for Novotny.
As Dylan Novotny came into this game ready to play, and he throws another strike in there, as he has started every at-bat this inning with a strike.
Love to see it from Novotny. He keeps on dealing, working at a quicker pace than we're used to seeing with him.
Ball 1 misses outside. Set up pitch for Novotny. It'll be Sticks, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Austin Mitchell. That ball will be grounded on up in front of Nino. He's not able. That ball will be a foul ball. By the grace of the baseball gods, that ball was a foul ball. The backspin from the ground ball, and man, I broke a sweat.
Yeah, that one, I don't even know how that ball kicked like that. Nino's reaching down to barehand it, fired over to first, and the ball just absolutely turns around on him. Incredible amounts of backspin on that one, and the Corn Belt League get away with one there. Novotny now with a 1-2 count, a chance to put away the side.
After the very lucky foul ball on the 1-1 pitch, it's now a 1-2 count to Austin Mitchell. Novotny comes with the leg kick, throws in there, strikeout swinging. Dylan Novotny goes 3 up, 3 down on strikeouts here in the bottom of the third in the Corn Belt League. Might be starting to turn the tides right here as we go to the top of the fourth on the Corn Belt League Network. Ryan Bannett goes out for his 4th inning of work as he has been dominant out there on the mound. It'll be Ripa, Yeager, and Nino due up for the Corn Belt League here in the top of the 4th. And Yeager will hold back at a ball. It'll be 1-0. Or excuse me, Ripa will hold back on a ball. It'll be 1-0.
Yeah, good discipline there from Ripa. Last time up for Nick Ripa, he popped out to the second baseman.
As Ripa watched strike 1 outside, it'll be a 1-ball, 1 count. 1 ball, 1 strike, as Ripa was able to get that one by the second baseman. A line drive single to start the Corn Belt League off here in the top of the 4th. And that could be the spark that the Corn Belt League needs here in the top of the 4th.
And you bring up a guy like Jackson Yeager, who absolutely mashed yesterday. First time up, he had a very sharply hit ball to the shortstop, J.J. Garcia. Garcia made an absolute gem of a play out there, a diving stop, getting up, throwing out Yeager.
And Yeager will foul tip that one, and it'll hit off the catcher's back plate or chest plate and roll out into play. It'll be a foul ball, 0-1.
Yeah, Yeager was on that breaking ball. He read it well, saw it right out of the hand, just got a little too excited and swung early on it and missed his location. He's lucky that it caught the end of the bat for a foul tip, and it wasn't a kind of embarrassing strike there.
We saw Yeager absolutely mashed yesterday. The 0-1 to Yeager. He will foul that one over and out of play. It'll be 0-2.
Yeah, and Yeager working now in the pitcher's count, the 0-2, with Ripa on first.
No balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Bannett's worked ahead in the count here as he comes set and delivers from the stride. The curveball will be hit on over to third base. A tough play off the hop. That ball will be thrown errantly out of play. Nick Ripa around second. He's heading to third. So the error by the third baseman, Martindale, puts runners at the corners for the Corn Belt League here with no outs.
Yeah, it'll be ruled an E5 there for Martindale over at third. Just knew he couldn't make the play at second, so instead tried to fire it all the way over to first and it just looked like a bad transfer for him. He was throwing kind of as the ball was slipping out of his hands, and it just no control over that one, and runners on the corners now for the Corn Belt League.
Tough play by Martindale. Those are always hard to throw on the run, as Nino will foul that one right behind Nick DeMonte standing in the on-deck circle. It'll be 0-1.
Yeah, DeMonte going over to pick that one up as runners on the corner for Nino, and he's a guy who led the Filth Ballers, a team that made the championship game in RBIs. If there's anyone you want in this situation up, it's Anthony Nino.
As we saw a ball in play, so time had to get stopped for a second so that ball wouldn't be tripped on or anyone could get hurt. So that's the first stoppage we've seen so far in this game for a ball coming in play from another field. But nonetheless, the 0-1, a curveball misses high, comes out of the hand a little too prematurely for 1-1.
Yeah, still no outs here for the Corn Belt League. So Nino, you don't need to go chasing after anything. Wait for that pitch to come to you. Last time up, Nino, I believe, had an absolute rocket into left field and then got caught out on the double play. Got to make contact.
Nino on the 1-1. Skies that one really high, a mile high into shallow center field. That ball will be caught. Ripa will fake the tag and not come home, as an absolute cannon from J.J. Garcia in shallow center will keep runners at the corners.
Yeah, and Nino just got under that one. He timed it well. He got the ball to the bat, just was a little bit under it, and that one launched very high into the sky. Good work from Garcia to track it all the way into his glove.
Still runners at the corners for Nick DeMonte, who just celebrated his 21st birthday yesterday. Nick DeMonte had a very good day at the plate, and he swings and misses at strike number 1.
Yeah, he wanted that one. He was chasing after that one heavily. Swung out of his shoes there, stepped out of the batter's box, and resets for the 0-1.
No balls, 1 strike here for Nick DeMonte. DeMonte will ground that one over in the gap. That ball will be dived for by J.J. Garcia, but that ball will get through. A run will come home to score after a Nick DeMonte single just gets by J.J. Garcia.
Yeah, we saw Garcia make the play earlier. This one was just a little too far for him, outstretching to his right. And it means DeMonte gets the RBI, and it's another run scored for the Corn Belt League.
Runners on first and second with Yeager off of second, Nick DeMonte off of first.
And like we said, Ethan, just chip away at this lead. That's the big thing here for the Corn Belt League.
Bolifer watches strike 1. Bolifer strikeout swinging in his last at-bat came in the bottom of the third, or excuse me, top of the third. 0-1 to Bolifer with runners on first and second. The curveball will be a little bit low. I thought that was a pretty good pitch, but it'll be a 1-1 count to Chris Bolifer.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Bolifer did a good job to lay off of that one. If that's me, I'm swinging because I'm seeing that curveball hanging. just a little bit low, a chance of a bat to ball there.
The 1-1, and Bolifer will watch that one inside for ball 2. Back-to-back pitches that looked pretty good coming out of the hand of Bennett, but both of them were called balls, 2-1.
Yeah, and Bennett has had himself a good first 3 innings, but now with 2 on and only 1 away, Bolifer's got to take advantage.
The 2-1, that ball will be outside for ball 3. Back-to-back-to-back balls from Bennett, and now Bolifer's in the driver's seat here on the 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1. Expect runners to be going. We know head coach Vern Hasty loves to steal on a 3-1 count, and B, expect Bolifer to be swinging.
The 3-1 to Bolifer. That ball will be inside for ball 4. A 5-pitch walk for Chris Bolifer. Loads up the bases here for Cam Madsen, who had a single in his last at-bat. And the Corn Belt League are in the driver's seat. They might have something cooking here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, bases loaded, and you bring up the best hitter all season, the hitter with the highest batting average in Cam Madsen. He's done it all season long. He did it yesterday. Had a pretty good day at the plate yesterday as well. Here's the first pitch.
As that first pitch is in there for strike number 1 to Cam Madsen.
And it has been bad from Bennett. He's been getting a lot of first pitch strikes, just can't close these at-bats out.
Madsen watches ball 1 outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cam Madsen. Yeager off of third. DeMonte off of second. Bolifer off of first. The 1-1 in there to Madsen. It'll be low for ball 2.
Yeah, another good look there from Madsen, and another good pitch from Bennett, just missed low.
The 2-1 to Madsen. That ball will be hit high. It'll be hit somewhat deep into right center field. That ball will be caught. Yeager will come home, and he will have enough to get home. The sac fly by Cam Madsen brings home another runner for the Corn Belt League. Nick DeMonte did not go to third, so it'll be runners on first and second here after the sac fly by Cam Madsen scores a run.
Yeah, good work there from Madsen. You know you need to score runs, and while you wish you could have got on with runners with bases loaded, it's still a sac fly. You still bring in a run, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
Braden Jackson washes ball 1 outside. Jackson, on his first pitch of his first at-bat in the last inning, got hit by a pitch as he watches ball 1 outside. The 1-0. That ball will be outside for ball number 2. Good eye by Braden Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson wanted that one a little bit. He was leaning towards it at the end, but stayed off, didn't swing, and he'll step back in here on the 2-0, the man from Ohio Wesleyan University.
DeMonte leads off of second. Chris Bolifer leads off of first. Braden Jackson looks for the 2-0. That ball will be hit. That ball will be skied into left center field. That ball will be dived for and caught. No, that ball will be down. Or no, that ball is going to be a catch. Man, what a play by Jeremiah West out in left field. Went parallel with the ground. And that is a huge out number 3 for the Ravages. And Ryan Bennett tips his cap to his left fielder. And we go to the bottom of the 4th after the absolutely spectacular play in left field by Jeremiah West. Welcome back to the bottom of the 4th here at the Genesis Health and Sports Complex here at the Summer Ball Showdown in Goddard, Kansas. If you're just now tuning in, I'm Ethan McCormick, joined us alongside my good buddy Arnav Pokhrel, and we saw an absolute barn burner of a game yesterday. We've got a good one today after the Corn Belt League started down 3 or 5-0, and they've stormed back and have brought it within 2, but we saw a spectacular play by Jeremiah West out in left field.
Yeah, Jeremiah West, everyone in this prize box here, tips our cap to you because of that diving catch out in left. I mean, saw it right off the bat of Jackson, and Jackson made good contact with that ball, West just absolutely laid out for that one.
Dylan Novotny on the bunt, comes off the mound as Dylan Novotny has put down the last 6 hitters he's faced after Gage Simmons tried showing bunt but could not get it down.
Yeah, don't bring up the leadoff man and JJ Garcia here. But yeah, I mean, 3 straight strikeouts in the 3rd inning, plus a strikeout to end the 2nd inning for Novotny. He's got 5 strikeouts on the day, and like you said, retired the last 5 batters he's faced.
My apologies, that was Gage Simmons, as now we go back to the top of the order, and J.J. Garcia watches strike 1 outside.
Yeah, and the big thing for Novotny has been first pitch strikes. He gets ahead in those counts 0-1. At no 1 count, now you can mess around a little bit if you're Novotny.
Novotny takes that curveball, and J.J. Garcia skies it high. That ball will creep out of play. Anthony Nino gave a nice little run on it. It'll go out of play.
Yeah, Nino, not the most agile catcher, but had a really good pop time there. Good look from Nino to get up and get out and try and track the ball into his glove, but just runs out of play here into that little walkway between the 2 fields, between 3 and field 4.
No balls, 2 strikes. Dylan Novotny can put down to 7th straight hitter right here in J.J. Garcia. The kick, the delivery by Novotny just misses outside for ball number 1. That ball wasn't too far outside from being called a strike 3 looking.
Yeah, just missing that outside half of the plate. I expect Novotny to go fastball either or breaking ball here. Those are the 2 main pitches we've seen from him so far.
So that ball will be grounded on over to Burnett. Burnett on the hop. No, it'll be Nick Repa, the strong throw, the dive, and he'll be in there in time after J.J. Garcia had to dive into first base, and Nick Repa had to make a strong throw across his body to get him out at first.
Yeah, you thought Burnett closed down on it. If Burnett makes that play, that is an out for sure. I mean, he's closing in. He's running towards first. Just has to toss it over. Instead, it has to be a backhand from Nick Repa, because Burnett couldn't get that with his glove. The backhand, the throw over, didn't get there in time on the 1 hop, and a diving effort there from Garcia to get to first.
D'Angelo Duval steps up to the plate here, and J.J. Garcia's off. Nino, the throw down will get him in time. J.J. Garcia thinks he was in there safe, but he came off the bag. Good job by Braden Jackson on keeping the tag applied, and a huge throw out by Anthony Nino. Someone was just thrown out of this ball game in the Ravagers dugout. It might have been J.J. Garcia who was arguing the call at second base, but someone got tossed here in this game. And I think it was J.J. Garcia who got tossed after arguing the call. You don't see that very often. Didn't look like he was getting too animated out there at second base, but nonetheless, the umpire with the quick trigger throws him out of this game.
Yeah, you got to think it's just something that he said maybe didn't sit well with the umpire, and well, you can't argue outs and you can't argue balls and strikes here. I mean, umpire's decision is final. We don't have replay. There's no way to go back and check, and so if you're J.J. Garcia, just had to keep your cool. You've had an incredible game so far. You've reached base all 3 times you've been up. You just try to steal there, and your hand comes off the bag, and Braden Jackson keeps the tag applied. And we'll see what the final decision here is for Garcia.
The umpire has made his way down the first baseline, and I think they're waiting for what we initially believe is Garcia, who got thrown out, but the umpire's waiting for him to leave the game. He's made his way down in front of the bleachers over here. I think he has to exit the ballpark. Confusion here. Looks like we're not quite sure what's going on here. We're just as confused as pretty much everybody else.
Yeah, Bobby Peterson, number 2 for the Ravages. He hasn't played this game, is outside of the bullpen, outside of the dugout right now, but I don't know if he's the one who got thrown out or if it's Garcia, I guess.
So it's out of sight, out of mind here at the Genesis Health and Sports Complex, so he has to at least get out of the way. But the umpire, they were quick to pull that trigger. I mean, they yanked him out of the ball game before he could really even, looks like, plead his case.
But either way, it's still a 1-0 count here for Novotny, who had an extended break there. You got to hope he's okay with his arm. With 2 away in the bottom of the 4th, and Novotny walks around the mound a little bit as play looks to get restarted.
Got to hope that first base umpire is not a court judge anytime soon, because those guys are getting sentenced pretty quickly. The 1-0 from Dylan Novotny. That ball will be fouled back into the netting. It'll be a 1-1 count.
Yeah, Novotny After a ball to start things off in the at-bat, and then the extended break for the ejection. Rears back, throws a ball in the strike zone that gets fouled off, and now he's even the count at 1-1.
1 ball, 1 strike from Dylan Novotny. After confusion, will be outside for ball 2 to D'Angelo DeVal. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Dylan Novotny ready for the pitch to DeVal. DeVal ready, sees ball 3 high. It'll be 3-1. Novotny comes set with the 3-1. He's looking to go 3 up, 3 down here again. And we'll foul that one down the first base line as DeVal. It'll be a full count here for Dylan Novotny here in the bottom of the 4th. After a little bit of drama here on field 3, the 3-2 pitch from Novotny just misses outside. A good eye by D'Angelo DeVal, draws a 6-pitch walk. And that'll be a base runner for the Ravages.
Yeah, good battle at the plate there from D'Angelo DeVal. I mean, did everything right. Watched the pitches he needed to watch. Swung at the pitches that were in the zone, fouled them off. And eventually makes it all the way over to first on a walk.
The Gold Glove left fielder who we've seen made one of the most spectacular catches in left field, Jeremiah West, will step up to the batter's box here. And he'll swing and miss at a beautiful off-speed pitch from Dylan Novotny.
And Novotny works so well. You know the guys in that Ravages dugout are talking about his fastball. They're expecting that fastball, trying to jump on. He goes off-speed first pitch, catches West way ahead of the ball.
0-1 from Dylan Novotny with DeVal, and Novotny will look over at DeVal. They have a timeout system here, so if you step off but don't throw, that's a timeout. You get 1 timeout per at-bat. Novotny comes home. That ball will be swung on and missed. A beautiful breaking ball from Novotny. Novotny has thrown 2 pitches, and he hasn't thrown a fastball yet this at-bat.
I expected here now. West sitting on the off-speed. You've thrown 2 straight off-speed pitches. Blow by him, get the strikeout here with the fastball.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with DeVal leading off of first. The pitch. Jeremiah West was tempted. It's like a kid in a candy store, but does not pull the trigger for the 1-2 count.
Yeah, off speed again there from Novotny. That breaking ball, outside movement, moving horizontally from right to left from Novotny's point of view, and just misses the plate a little bit.
The 1-2 from Novotny. That ball will be outside. Nino throws down, catches him slacking, and he'll be safe. A close play at first base. Nino almost caught him slacking at first base, and I'm sure DeVal, his heart was beating out of his chest. That was a close play.
Yeah, DeVal caught sleeping a little bit there, and Nino and Yeager, good awareness between the two of them to make that play over to first, and we'll go again here with the 2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and West just fouls that one behind the plate. We'll stick with the 2-2.
Yeah, West just staying alive, doing what he needs to do.
As Novotny continues to load up that strike zone, we'll see what he can do here on the 2 ball, 2 strike, 2 out pitch in the bottom of the 4th. Novotny comes set from the stretch. DeVal leading off of first. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Novotny with the ground ball hit on over to Nick Ripa. Nick Ripa will just underhand toss it on over to third. And Novotny continues to dominate out on the bump. The Corn Belt League are keeping the damage right where it's at. Ravages still up 5-3 as we go to the top of the 5th right here on the CBLN. guys remember that one Nickelodeon show, Drama Island, we kind of had a little bit of a reenactment here on field number 3 here at the Genesis Health and Sports Complex as we saw someone get thrown out of this ball game. We don't exactly know who it was. J.J. Garcia, according to our Game Changer app, is still at shortstop. So we don't exactly know. He is not at shortstop. So it must have been J.J. Garcia. Thank you to our PA man, Connor Shelton. So it looks like it was J.J. Garcia that got the can at short. So we'll see Christopher Calhoun lead things off for the Corn Belt League here in the top of the 5th. A lot of drama, a lot of high-intensity baseball. And myself and Arnav Pokhrel are happy to be bringing you the action here from Goddard, Kansas.
Yeah, and just right outside of Wichita. It's cooled down a little bit, thankfully. I mean, we started the game pretty hot. Not as hot as yesterday's game, though, I will say. But still getting hot out there. But the sun is set. It's dark, and the lights are shining bright down on field number 3. And 3-5 lead for the Ravages. But the Corn Belt League have turned things on recently.
As the ball is in there, we got a new pitcher out on the mound for the Ravages. Number 14, he is not on our roster sheet. No idea who's pitching. That ball is going to be in there for ball 2. So we have no idea who's pitching on the mound. This is a game of guess who here on field number 3. Take your shot. What's the first name, Arnav? I'm going to go with Jackson. That's my guess.
I like a little Jackson, but either way, I think we just stick to calling him number 14. The pitcher, number 14. Kind of like in those NCAA 14 games where you have those generic rosters where it just kind of says a position and the number. We just have pitcher number 14 out there dealing. He's worked a 2-1 count.
Number 14 delivers the pitch to Christopher Calhoun to number 6 outside for ball 3.
And it's a 3-1 count here for Calhoun. Worked really well. Struck out his first time up to lead off the game and then hit a sacrifice fly.
Number 14 delivers to number 6. The 3-1 count. That ball will be hit very well up the middle. That ball will be dived for and caught. That play looked a lot more difficult than it really should have been in center field, but nonetheless, the diving catch by Gage Simmons in center.
Yeah, I think that's just a routine play. Simmons just sliding for the extra security and making that play, and it's 1 away here in the top of the 5th inning.
We've got some defensive changes. DeVal at short now, Rodriguez at third, Martindale at second. So a little shift in the infield for the Ravages. Number 14 delivers to number 20, Carson Burnett. First pitch strike. It'll be 0-1.
Yeah, and because of that ejection to J.J. Garcia, it pushes DelVal from second over to short. Still kind of the captain of the infield now that Garcia's out as the first pitch is missing for ball 1.
Carson Burnett, who has been extremely hot at the plate. It'll be a 1-1 count here to Mr. Burnett. After Carson Burnett swings and hits that one over to DeVal at short, DeVal on the run. We'll throw that one, and it'll pull Mitchell off the bag. So Burnett will be safe at first by a throwing error. Count that one in E6 and credit that one to DeVal.
Yeah, and it just you think it has to be just because of that transition from Garcia over to DelVal. He's not used to playing short here in Goddard and being forced to play a new position. The throw a little bit further than he's used to at second. You hope he's going to make the play, but unfortunately he can't. And the Corn Belt League will take it. It's a base runner here with only 1 away.
Nick Repa, the Wayne State College product, will step into the right-hander's batter's box, and he'll look at strike 1 from number 14.
Still no name on that pitcher for this Ravages side, and well, it's an 0-1 with 1 away.
0-1 count to Nick Repa. Burnett leads off at first, and that ball will get by Estrada, and Carson Burnett will advance 90 more feet.
And Burnett could have gone 3 there. Elects to hold up and stay safe at second and not risk it. Only 1 away. You don't want to be that second out with a man up to bat and a 1-1 count.
Depending on the base knock, it could be enough to score a speedy Carson Burnett, who's, I might say, has very underrated speed.
Yeah, you just didn't see it that much during this Corn Belt League season. Only 8 stolen bases throughout the season as Repa absolutely launches that one foul straight into the dirt. just well over that one, almost tomahawked it in the ground.
That had a launch angle of 3 degrees, and that one will be fouled off. It'll be a 1-2 count here. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Nick Ripa. The 1-2. That ball will be outside and high for ball 2.
I don't even know if that had a positive launch angle, Ethan. That, with the way that one traveled straight down, it's probably more like negative, in the negative degrees, because you got to think 0 is a level hit straight back to the pitcher. That one in the negatives.
2 balls, 2 strikes to the right-hander and Nick Ripa. That ball miss off the plate. Full count to Nick Ripa from number 14.
Yeah, number 14 has not had the same control that we saw from Bennett up at the mound. You got to think maybe they're trying to save him for the elimination that starts tomorrow, the single elimination rounds. Bennett just had a great outing, and you want to save that arm for as long as you can use it.
And Ripa skies that one into left field. That ball will not be caught on the dive. Carson Burnett will round third. He'll head home. Ripa will cruise into second with a stand-up RBI double, and that will cut the Corn Belt League to 1. And Ripa got all of that one and took it to left field.
Yeah, an absolute crush job from Ripa. Gets those hands inside and turns it into left field. And another good effort there out in left field by Jeremiah West. But unfortunately, this one just a little bit too fast for him out there. He's got great speed out in left, covered ground well. Another diving play. You can't knock the effort from Jeremiah West, but an incredible hit from Ripa. And just like that, after being down 5-0, the Corn Belt League has clawed it back to a 4-5 game.
A Ripa rip. And we've got a 1-run ball game, and that was ball 1 outside to Jackson Yeager.
Yeah, Yeager was very hot yesterday, has grounded out to shortstop, and then reached on an error today, so he'll try and get his first hit of the night in this at-bat.
The 1-0 to Yeager. That ball will get in the gap. Ripa will round third. He'll head home. That ball will get by West and tie ball game from a single from Jackson Yeager. 5-5. The Corn Belt League, 5 unanswered runs here, and they have tied the ball game in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, and this pitcher, number 14, has just been absolutely rattled. His hitters are seeing the ball well. Yeager caught all of that one. And Jeremiah West, uncharacteristic mistake from him there out in left, letting the ball just roll through his legs. You saw head coach Vern Hasty holding up his hand saying, stop, stop, to Ripa. And then as soon as that ball gets past West, he tells Burnett to go home. And just like that, it's all tied up.
Nino steps up to the plate. He takes the first pitch he sees and skies that one to the field to our immediate right. Feel like I need to catch my breath. It's been constant action here.
Yeah, but you love to see it from the Corn Belt League. Good fight from the guys in gray.
Nino has an 0-1 count. Yeager with a Yeager bomb to left field, and we've got a tie ball game. The 0-1 to Nino. Nino will file that one back into the net. Be an 0-2 count.
And Nino working from behind now in 0-2. Just got to protect the plate. Try and advance the runner here if you're Yeager. Put him in scoring position.
No balls, 2 strikes to Anthony, the man behind the plate today. Yeager leads off a second, and Nino will fly that one into right field. That ball could drop in. That ball will drop in for a base hit. Yeager had to stay, though, halfway, so we got runners on first and second. Yeager didn't get a good enough read on that ball. But we got runners on first and second after a little no-man's land single from Anthony Nino.
Yeah, Nino absolutely jammed that one on the inside of his bat, but he got lucky enough to pop it up and have it drop just kind of in no man's land. Like you said, Ethan, in right field. Got lucky with that one. He advances over to first, and it pushes Yeager over to second, still only with 1 out. Number 14 on the mound, once again, whose name we do not know up here in the booth, has been absolutely rattled so far after coming in for Ryan Bennett, who pitched extremely well but did give up 3 consecutive runs to Corn Belt League hitters.
DeMonte lays down a bunt. That ball it'll bring them off the bag. They're going to say they got him out at third. That's a very questionable call. It looked like his foot was coming off the bag well before he caught that ball. Vern Hasty is going to argue, and that call is very questionable. I agree with Vern. You can't make a call when you're halfway across the diamond. You got to send that one to the home plate umpire. That was just a ridiculous call at third base.
Yeah, now head coach Vern Hasty, he's angry. You don't see head coach Vern Hasty angry at umpires very often. A very calm, emotionless guy here when he's coaching. He tells his players what to do. He doesn't like having conversations with the home plate umpire. But when head coach Vern Hasty is acting like this, you know something was wrong. And Yeager will head over. It'll be an out here at third. A good stretch there from Rodriguez if he did get his toe down on the bag. Full credit to him for the play. And unfortunately for Yeager, he'll be out. It'll be 2 runners on, first and second, with 2 away now in the top of the 5th.
I don't make a lot of comments about the umping, but that call was very questionable at third base. I'm not going to say a whole lot more than that, but Nick DeMonte laid down a good bunt, and now it'll be Chris Bullifer who absolutely rockets that one in the right field. Going back at the track, that ball is at the wall. That ball did not quite get out. Nick DeMonte's rounding third. He's heading home. That'll be a 2 RBI single for Chris Bullifer. Corn Belt League take the lead in the top of the 5th inning, and Chris Bullifer got all of that one.
Absolute crush job from Bullifer into right field. He absolutely launched that one. I thought that one was going out, and we were ready for a home run. Instead, Bullifer gets away with a double to the warning track. Great work there from Bullifer.
What a rip from Chris Bullifer. That's a bully bomb right there in the 7-hole position. Now we got the 8-hole hitter Cam Madsen, who can continue this run for the Corn Belt League, and he'll foul that one in the batter's box. 7 unanswered runs for the Corn Belt League here since the 3rd inning. 5 here in the top of the 5th. Or 4, excuse me.
And just like that, the Corn Belt League putting the pressure on the Ravages. We got a good pitching outing from Bennett. Unfortunately, since then, it's kind of cooled off as number 14 has gotten rocked. And Bullifer, just another huge hit from the catcher, something that we've seen all season from him in the Corn Belt League.
Cam Madsen gets ready for the 0-1. He'll sky that one into center field, left center field. That ball will drop for a base hit. Chris Bullifer rounds third, heading home. Cam Madsen will go into second base, sliding for a double. Chris Bullifer, Cam Madsen, the Corn Belt League are striking while the iron is hot. 8 unanswered runs, and they continue to tack it on here in the top of the 5th.
Absolutely electric stuff from the guys in gray right now. 8 unanswered, 5 unanswered just in the top of the 5th inning alone. We were waiting. It was like a ticking time bomb. This offense was slowly getting there. We saw 1 run in the top of the 3rd, 2 runs in the top of the 4th, and finally the floodgates open for this Corn Belt League team. It looks like they're going to make a pitching change here, the Ravages, but we'll wait here and keep it on air for this meeting here.
We'll see number 25 warming up in the Ravages bullpen. That'll be Nathan Gamez. 7, my bad. PA guy thought he was giving me 25. It'll be Quentin Reed warming up in the Ravages bullpen.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of Reed on the mound, but yesterday 0 for 1, 1 RBI, no walks, and an electric top of the 5th inning so far for the Corn Belt League. They're going to try and continue to keep on this pressure on this pitcher, unnamed number 14, as we like to call him here on the Corn Belt League Network. 8 runs unanswered after giving up 5 in the first 2 half innings of Dallas-Fort Worth offense. The Corn Belt League striking back, showing them what Omaha's made of. 8 unanswered, like you said, so many times, and it's still 2-1 with a runner on second. That runner on second is Madsen, who absolutely launched that one into left center field.
8 unanswered runs, and Braden Jackson will step up to the plate looking to do some more damage here in the top of the 5th. Madsen leads off a second. Jackson receives the first pitch. It'll be inside for ball 1. 1-0 count to Braden Jackson.
Good look there from Jackson. He saw it inside, wanted to swing, but held off and recognized that it was well inside for ball 1.
Jackson, who got hit by a pitch in his first at-bat, receives the 1-0 count from number 14. That ball will get by the catcher, Estrada. Madsen will advance 90 more feet, and runners continue to be put in scoring position. Jackson's got him 90 feet away.
Yeah, now the count sits 2-0 for Jackson. This is a batter's count if I've ever seen it myself. A runner on third. Jackson, who last time up, flew out to left field, but he absolutely crushed that ball. It was an amazing catch by Jeremiah West to get him out. He's got a chance to do damage here again.
Braden Jackson's got a 2-0 count with Cam Madsen leading off a third after the pass ball by number 14. And Jackson will watch ball 3 low. Think Jackson's got the 3-0, green light or red light?
I got to say red light. You've taken the lead here in the top of the 5th inning. You don't want to add insult to injury by swinging on a 3-0, especially against a pitcher who's been absolutely rattled so far in number 14.
The 3-0, that ball will be in there for strike 1. An interesting call. That ball was a little inside, but 3-1 count here for Braden Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson, the man from Oklahoma Wesleyan University. I stand corrected. I said Ohio Wesleyan last time around. A chance with here on a 3-1 count to send someone home.
3-1 count, and that one will be swung on and missed by Jackson. We got a full count here Back-to-back strikes from number 14.
Yeah, good recovery there. After falling behind 3-0, you get the 3-1 strike, and then you put one in there for 3-2.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. This would be a huge out to get out of this inning, and Brand Jackson will sky that one on over to first. Jackson flies down the line, and Mitchell will take care of it. Well, the Corn Belt League get 5 runs on 7 hits, 8 unanswered runs, and we've got the lead, and we go to the bottom of the 5th on the Corn Belt League Network.
Back here in Goddard, Kansas at the Genesis Health Club Sports Complex for the bottom of the 5th inning between the Corn Belt League and the Dallas-Fort Worth Ravages. Ethan McCormick, the man to my left, some absolute electric calls there as the Corn Belt League put on 5 in the top of the 5th to take that 3-run lead. And first up is Tanner Garcia here for this side from Dallas. And he'll look at 2 pitches, and it'll be 1-1 count. And that one in there for a 2-1 count now, as Novotny still continues to work on the mound here. It's been an incredible outing so far from Novotny.
He's came in and really dominated, loading up that strike zone. He's not giving these hitters time to breathe. It's just pitch after pitch, and you don't know what's coming from Novotny. That was a nice pitch. 2-2 count for Novotny.
Yeah, Novotny, not the fastest guy on the mound, but today he's turned up the intensity a little bit. The 2-2 in there, strike 3, got him looking. Huge pitch from Novotny to get the first out of the bottom of the 5th inning.
Novotny have a day. This wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Novotny's dominance out on the bump. Novotny has been setting up this Corn Belt League offense with zeros on the board since the 2nd inning. And you got to tip your cap to your relief pitcher, Dylan Novotny.
Strikeout number 6 for the Black Sox, leading innings pitcher. He comes in relief. A normal starter, as that was well inside from Novotny for 1-0. He's normally a starter. He's not used to coming in relief. He struggled a little bit in that 2nd inning when he came in for the starter, Trevor Storer. But since then, it has been lights out from Dylan Novotny.
Yeah, Novotny has came in and just shut him down. I'll go into a little in-depth here when I have a little bit more time, but
that one in there for the first strike of the at-bat, so it'll be a 1-1 count as Novotny works against Samuel Estrada, the catcher. We saw have a couple of pass balls, a couple of wild pitches between him and the pitcher number 14 that came in relief for the Ravages. That was Bennett, who was the original pitcher and got relieved by number 14. Estrada not as cohesive with his new pitcher as he was with Bennett, and now the count sits 2-1. That one right back up. It hits Novotny. Gotta hope he's okay. The barehanded play over by Ripa to first. Did he get him? Yes, he did. Barehanded from Nick Ripa. And how about that for some electric defense?
Score that one a 1-6-3 ground out. You don't see that very often. Man, that's a 1-6-3 ground out on a single out. But I'm going to go a little in-depth here as Vern Hasty goes out to check on Novotny. I got to catch my breath. I feel like it's been nothing. I feel like I'm on a constant roller coaster ride. I feel like this is just, I got a day pass to Six Flags. I mean, geez, this is crazy. Let me go in depth on Novotny. I got to calm myself down. So what's been working for Novotny is he's been mixing his locations and he's been mixing his pitch types. He goes fastball, two-seam, changeup, and he throws a nice little slider in there. What's really been working for him is the fact that he's been able to work those pitches in counts that you wouldn't expect. Start on an 0-0 count, boom, he's going fastball. Start on a 0-1, boom, he's going changeup. But then you think, oh, he might go breaking ball, or he might go fastball, changeup. No, he throws fastball high and inside, and you're forced to hack at it and get out of the way, and you swing. That's what Novotny's been able to do. Novotny's been doing it to perfection, but the defense on display here for the Corn Belt League, and Novotny had to get out of the way of a ball that came onto the field. That could have been dangerous. That almost nipped him in the forehead.
Yeah, after getting rocketed by a ball that came back and hit him, he almost got rocketed by a foul ball from a different field as Novotny looks good to go. He is 2 outs away. He has 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th, and he sets up the first pitch. It's low and inside for a 1-0 count. You got to hope Novotny's okay to keep throwing gas like he has been doing all game long. And now the 1-0 pitch here from Dylan Novotny. In there, half swing from Brookshire, but it looks like it was a strike anyway, so it didn't matter if he swung or not. Here's the 1-1. Novotny in the set, the leg kick, the pitch, low and inside for 2-1.
And we want to keep an eye on Novotny's hand, who did get hit on that ground ball. He tried barehanding it. Not smart from Novotny. That's how you break your hand. That's a very tough play, but it worked.
Yeah, that one well inside. 3-1 now for Novotny, falling behind a little bit on the batter here. Brookshire. And once again, I mean, knowing Novotny, if he was hurt enough to have to take himself out, he would. He would do it for the betterment of the team. But no arms in the bullpen right now for the Corn Belt League. You got to think someone's getting up here soon, just in case that hand issue provides issues for Novotny as he walks the next batter he faces. And it's a runner on first here in Brookshire. It'll bring up Chandler Martindale. His first time up, he singled to right, and then he struck out swinging against Novotny.
And Novotny has been loading up the strike zone with first pitch strikes. It's been, I believe, 6 straight hitters where he's thrown a first pitch strike, so we'll see if he can make it 7.
First pitch just outside there for 1-0.
Announcer's jinx. That's my bad, folks.
Yeah, he just really called that one, but he'll rear back and throw a foul ball. That one's headed towards the press box if it weren't for the netting here at the beautiful Genesis Health Club Sports Complex. And some incredible stuff going on here. I mean, we've seen it all. The food that we've been given is incredible. I mean, just absolutely the sponsors here, Chick-fil-A, Wichita Brewing Company, just some absolutely beautiful sponsors here providing things for the players. And it's been some great stuff here in Wichita, a great tournament that's been putting on. You see all these teams that have been put together, even teams from Texas, teams from California, teams from Colorado, and the Prospect Wave have a really cool jersey. I saw it earlier today. I had to mention it on air as that one misses outside for 3-1. Just a really, really well put together tournament here in Wichita.
Yeah, 100% agree. And, yeah, it's been a spectacularly well-run tournament. I can't get my words as that ball's fouled back in the netting, full count.
Yeah, full count for Novotny now as he works with 2 outs and a runner on first in Brookshire, who reached on a walk. But he's looking to close out this inning strong here at the bottom of the 5th. Right, reminder that it is 9 innings here. If you're used to regular Corn Belt League ball in the summer, only 7 innings to play. This one, 9-inning tournament. So we're going to see a full amount of baseball here soon.
Runners are off, strike 3 looking.
Strike 3 looking for Novotny, and he is just electric. That is his 7th strikeout of the night so far, and we'll head to a break. We'll be back with the top of the 6th. The Corn Belt League looking to end this one quickly, and they've got the batters hot to do it. We'll see if they can do it here when we return on the CBLN. back here from Goddard, Kansas, here at the 2023 Summer Ball Showdown. The Corn Belt League All-Star team has put up 5 in the top of the 5th, and now we bring it here to the top of the 6th inning. The Corn Belt League looking to tack on some more. A reminder here, the run rule, because we can't talk about it now that the Corn Belt League are in the lead, is 10 after 7, 15 after 5. So if the Corn Belt League somehow tack on another 7 runs here and then hold the Ravages to nothing, the game will end. And so we will see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, Ethan. But there is a new pitcher after the unnamed pitcher, number 14 for the Ravages, got absolutely shelled up in the top of the 5th inning. Quentin Reed comes to mound, his first appearance here on the bump at the Summer Ball Showdown. What do we know about his appearance at the plate, though, yesterday, Ethan?
Yesterday, in their 17-7 loss against the Midwest Moo, Quentin Reed went 0 for 1 with an RBI. So he got it done at the plate with an RBI, but this is the first time we've seen him out on the mound today, or this tournament, I guess.
First pitch swung on by Chris Calhoun. The last time up, the Corn Belt League, the leadoff man all the way to the 9th slot. Everybody hit, and now we've got leadoff man again here in the top of the 6th, and Chris Calhoun. 0-1 count for Calhoun. The speedster playing center field today. That one fouled off. It's an 0-2.
A cow just walked behind me in the press box. I'm counting that one off my bucket list, folks.
Yeah, the Chick-fil-A mascot has made its way up here into the press box. So always a good sight to see, and you got to hope he's doing well here in the heat. Got to hope the best for the Chick-fil-A cow. Is strike 3 swung on and missed by Calhoun. And it's a good start to the game here for Quentin Reed.
Quentin Reed went back-to-back curveballs right there. 0-1 curveball, 0-2 curveball. Christopher Calhoun wasn't quite ready for the 0-1 curveball. Was sitting a little too ahead on that 0-2 curveball, and he just wasn't quite able to time it up. Beautiful pitches right there by Quentin Reed, who has came in and threw 3 straight strikes.
Yeah, here's Quentin Reed lining up the next batter, and first ball misses, just low and outside, working against Burnett here for the 0-1.
Christopher Calhoun's going to go back to that dugout and tell those guys to sit on that breaking ball.
Here's the 1-0. The leg kick and the pitch here from Reed. Just misses low for ball 2.
What's interesting that I've seen is there's supposed to be a pitch clock, but it seems like some of these pitchers, it feels like they're holding it for a little bit longer than 20 seconds. I don't know how strictly they're enforcing that pitch clock, but it seems like some of these pitchers are holding it for longer than 20 seconds.
That one roped into right field, trailing towards foul territory, but it drops and it's fair for Carson Burnett. It's a home run. That one launched all the way out, wrapped around the foul pole. And how about that for Carson Burnett? An absolute launch job into right field. And he bumps this Corn Belt League run up one more time. It's a 4-run ball game.
How do you do, Carson Burnett? That opposite field, that's an Oppo Taco. Give him a Taco Bell NIL deal immediately. That is an Oppo Taco dinger. Just got over the foul pole. Woo!
I lost that one in the lights. I thought it was trailing towards a warning track and into foul territory. Instead, it gets out. And just like that, Carson Burnett extends this lead to 9-5. Huge hit from Burnett. That one grounded to the first baseman, who will jog over and apply the tag, Mitchell. But it's 2 away, and it's a home run for Carson Burnett. You know he'll be happy about that one.
Oh, you know he'll be happy. Going back to the hotel, all these guys are going to be buzzing about that Carson Burnett home run. First home run he hit all season. He went all Corn Belt League season without hitting one out, and he hit one out at the most pristine time.
Talk about a big-time hit from a big-time player, as it brings up Jackson Yeager, the cleanup hitter, after the Repa unassisted ground out to first. Yeager now in the count 1-0. Here's a 1-0 with 2 away. That one low and in the dirt for 2-0. You see Chris Bolifer running around the foul balls, grabbing those. Good work there from the designated hitter / catcher for this Corn Belt League team. As the count now sits 3-0 for Reed. He's probably a little bit shocked after seeing that ball from Carson Burnett leave the yard.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked. I thought that ball hit off the wall. I'm not quite believing what I saw. I'm still kind of at shock.
Yeah, no, I was just waiting for the umpire to call that one foul. It looks like There's a couple of white signs out there in right field. I think the ball kind of got lost in those, lost in the lights, whatever it is. Carson Burnett hit a dinger, and this one grounded up to the shortstop. A diving play by Del Val, but he couldn't get up, and that one gets through into left field for a single.
That was a very tough play from DeVille. He's moving and ranging to his left, and he has to make a diving stop to his left. That's a tough play. That's glove side dive for DeVille. That's a really tough play. You can't really get a glove on that one. It kind of skipped off his glove and went into the outfield. And the Corn Belt League just continues and continues to tack things on here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, 1 run already scored off the Carson Burnett home run. 2 outs and a runner on first for the Corn Belt League. It's Anthony Nino up to bat. First pitch misses for ball 1. 2 away after a strikeout to start the inning from Chris Calhoun, and then the unassisted ground out from Ripa to the first baseman, Mitchell. But Nino steps in 2 away, runner on first, and the RBI leader from the Fifth Ballers swings and misses at the next pitch. It's 1-1.
And he corkscrewed himself into the ground. Shout out to Connor Shelton for giving us that one. Yes, sir, Connor Shelton. He gave me that one. I had to shout out Connor Shelton. He's smiling from ear to ear over here.
And the 1-1 after the corkscrew from Nino, and missing on the swinging pitch in the zone is another swing and a miss there from Nino, and it's a 1-2 count.
And it has been 4 straight innings that we've seen the Corn Belt League score. They put 1 on in the 3rd, 2 on in the 4th, 5 on in the 5th, and now they put 1 on in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, just absolutely electric stuff from the Corn Belt League offense, but all credit as well to Novotny, who's been holding it down on the mound on the other side as well. That one poked towards the first baseman, but it's going to go foul.
And one thing that's impressed me about this offense is they've been able to start piecing up quality ABs. That's one thing that we saw yesterday that kind of hurt the Corn Belt League, is that they weren't piecing up quality ABs. This time around, a lot more foul balls, working deeper in the counts, full counts, 2-2 counts. It's been a lot more impressive seeing them work deeper into counts here in this ballgame.
You got to think, especially against a pitcher just came in to start this inning in Quentin Reed. It's a good look for the Corn Belt League. A check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. And Nino will have to walk slowly back to the dugout. It's a strikeout swinging to end the inning, but the Corn Belt League tack one more on thanks to the bomb from Carson Burnett. And we'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning, all with a Corn Belt League extended 4-run lead on the Corn Belt League Network. And we're back here in the bottom of the 6th inning, between the Ravages and the Corn Belt League. And the Corn Belt League have absolutely laid it on in these past 4 innings on offense. They've been doing the work and getting the job done offensively. A new hitter in for Austin Mitchell is Yabdiel Hernandez. He'll slot into third and pinch hit for Mitchell. And the first pitch is fouled, and then that one is grounded over, and the play is made in time, and it's one away to start things off here for Novotny.
I was just about to say, Yabdiel Hernandez was 0 for 3 in their last game, but I didn't even have time as that ball was a ground out. That's a quick first out.
And so it'll be the next hitter up in Gage Simmons, the center fielder.
Gage Simmons threw an inning in relief in their game yesterday against the Moo. 1 inning, 2 hits, 5 runs, 3 of them earned, so he's can get it done on the mound, and he's also been able to get it done out the plate.
Yeah, an interesting thing here, we were expecting a little bit more rotation in this side for the Corn Belt League today. Obviously, now with a 4-run lead, maybe we'll see it here towards the top of the 7th inning. But so far, it's just been the starters that have remained out there for this Corn Belt League side, as the count sits now 2-1 against Simmons.
Novotny just continues to impress out there on the mound. Novotny was the spark. I think Novotny was the key. I'll talk about that later, but I think Novotny was the spark for this Corn Belt League.
Here's a 2-1 from Novotny. Swung on, fouled off, and it'll be a 2-2 count for Novotny. He's 1 strike away from getting that second out.
What I think has happened with this Corn Belt League team, though, is they got the inspiration. I think it all revolves around that J.J. Garcia throwout. I think that the team really bonded around that, and then Burns been fired up. You see a different spark in this team.
Here's the 2-2 in there. Strike 3 got him looking. Huge outing from Novotny, and he gets the second out of the inning on a looking strikeout.
Novotny, you can tell he's got the poise, he's got the swagger, he's feeling it out there on the mound. Every pitch is working. That fastball, two-seamer, changeup, slider, everything is working, and Novotny just is in control of this game. Everything is working around Novotny when the Corn Belt League is out on defense. He just looks dominant. First pitch is going to be grounded in the gap for a base hit, but still can't knock Novotny.
Yeah, and it's the guy who came in for the man who was ejected, Rodriguez, who gets that hit into the gap, into right field, and so it'll be a runner on for the Ravages, but still a 4-run ball game for the Corn Belt League. Just can't give up any runs here if you're Novotny.
Novotny, that ball was in the dirt for ball 1, but Novotny also is really good at controlling the ball, controlling base runners. He does a really good job of limiting his pickoffs, but knowing when a good time to pick off is. It'll be interesting to see how he can limit J.P. Rodriguez.
That one misses low and away against El Val as Rodriguez sits on first.
As Bobby Peterson's warming up in the Ravagers bullpen currently, so could be seeing a short outing here from the pitcher.
Here's a 2-0, and it misses for 3-0.
Novotny might be starting to feel that fatigue. The humidity might be starting to catch up to him. He's starting to lose that grip on the fastball. He got to channel in at least 3 more pitches to get a third out.
That one misses outside. It's a 4-pitch walk for Novotny, and runners on first and second here for the Ravages.
And Novotny, this is the first time Novotny's really been challenged out on the base pass. He really hasn't seen a lot of first and second action. Jeremiah West, who defensively made one of the best catches I've ever seen in a game earlier, steps up to the plate, and it looks like we've got a ball in play, and they're going to stop it. We've seen a lot more. Oh, no, excuse me. Larry O'Brien is going out to talk to Dylan Novotny.
Not the normal Vern Hasty out to the mound. It's O'Brien and LOB looking to inspire some words into Novotny here as they'll try and make some time. It looks like a couple of guys head into the bullpen for the Corn Belt League.
And Dylan Novotny. Larry O'Brien, first, okay, I'm going to start with this. Obi is a legend within the Corn Belt League staff. He has been around baseball for a very long time, played baseball with Pete Rose, coached Ron Colley for a numerous amount of years. He is a baseball Hall of Famer, in my opinion, and his knowledge on the game is just vast. He'll be able to quiz you. We've experienced it, Arnav, the trivia that he has just given us in the hotel lobby. But, he went out there to talk to Dylan Novotny, kind of calm him down, get that pitch grip back, calm him down, and get going right here with runners on first and second.
Yeah, I think the big thing from OB is just saying, hey, you've got one out. That's all you needed to get here, a ground ball, a strikeout. However you get the out, an out's an out, and you just need one of them. As the first pitch misses from Novotny for 1-0.
And Novotny, you can tell fatigue might be starting to set in.
Now it is, I believe, his fourth inning of work so far. After coming in relief with only one out in the second inning. So he pitched 2/3 of that inning, 3 complete innings, and has pitched 2/3 of this inning as well. So he's racked up a few pitches here, has Dylan Novotny, after pitching yesterday as well, as that one's fouled off for a 2-1 count.
Novotny just needs 2 more pitches. A ground ball would be ideal. A fly ball would be ideal. But you don't want a fly ball that's obviously in the gap. You want to keep your fly ball within the parameters of your outfielders or your infielders. But Novotny's going to talk to the battery who has been super successful. We got number 30. Number 26. What the hell?
Two 2-1 still the count here. With 2 away, and Novotny grabbing that rosin bag behind the plate. Drew Beck's in the bullpen for the Corn Belt League. Has a 2-1 count. And a 4-run lead for the Corn Belt League with 2 on for the Ravages. Here's the 2-1. Well inside, it's going to catch the batter. Just misses him, actually. I thought it hit the back there of Jeremiah West. Instead, it looks like he just got out of the way. And it'll be 3-1.
Then Novotny just needs 1 pitch. 1 pitch will do it. And this might be the pitch.
That one grounded over to Burnett at third. The throw over to first in time, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. And Novotny gets away with it with 2 runners on. He gets the 3rd out. And just like that, we'll head to the top of the 7th. Still a 4-run lead for the Corn Belt League. Don't go anywhere. We'll have top of the 7th when we return on the Corn Belt League Network. And we're back here, top of the 7th action between the Corn Belt League and the Dallas-Fort Worth Ravages. Nick DeMonte leading things off for the Corn Belt League as the first pitch is missing outside for ball 1.
Nick DeMonte has had a very hot start to the Summer Ball Showdown. He's impressed in left field, made a nice catch out there, and then he's also been really good at the plate.
Nick DeMonte pops this one up. It's going to be in play for the pitcher, Reed, but calling everyone off is Mitchell over at first, and it'll be the first out of the inning for the Ravages.
That's a really tough play. That's kind of a triangle. That's what I call the Bermuda Triangle of defense right there. You get your second baseman, your first baseman, your pitcher converging on a ball. That ball can drop. Miscommunication can happen. That's a really good job, though, by the first baseman on getting over to that ball in time and calling it off and asserting himself in Hernandez.
Yeah, Yabdil Hernandez in there at first as this one's grounded by the Corn Belt League. It looks like it's going to stay fair. The throw over to first, picked, but it misses the glove of the first baseman, Hernandez. So after he makes the catch for the first out, he's not able to get the pick for the second. It's a runner on first here for the Corn Belt League.
And Bolifer's not the fastest runner we have on this team, quite frankly, but I would say he got down the line in pretty good time right there. It'll be interesting to see if that's ruled as an error or a base hit. They're going to rule that an error. That's a throwing error, but Chris Bolifer was quick getting down the line. His speed looked a little underrated.
Yeah, not speed that we're used to from Bolifer there over at first, and he'll dive back on the pickoff throw as the pitcher, Quentin Reed, checks over to first and makes sure Bolifer stays there at first as well.
That's quite interesting. Bolifer had 0 stolen bases in the Corn Belt League season, so if there's anyone you want to worry about, it definitely isn't Chris Bolifer at first.
It might be Cam Madsen, who had a big double to score a few runs in that humongous fifth inning for the Corn Belt League, where they scored 5 in the top of the fifth. Bolifer still over at first and takes a slightly larger leadoff than normal here as the 0-1 in there, and it's in there for a ball that misses just low for 1-1.
And we've seen Madsen put together 2 back-to-back quality ABs. He's so patient at the plate. He knows what pitch he wants, and he's going to swing when he gets that pitch.
Yeah, here's the 1-1 from Madsen. Outside, Bolifer will return over to first, and it'll be a 2-1 count for the Corn Belt League's leader in batting average. And he'll step back in on the 2-1. The pitcher is still Quentin Reed, who came in relief of an unnamed number 14, and Bolifer almost got picked off, but he got back just in time. I don't think Bolifer's getting the steal sign anytime soon, so he just has to make sure he gets back to the base in time when he gets those pickoff throws over to first.
I 100% agree. I don't think Bolifer is really getting the steal sign unless it's a hit-and-run situation, but he might not be going anywhere.
Here's the 2-1, and it misses for ball 3.
I would understand if you had Christopher Calhoun, Braden Jackson, Nick DeMonte, Cam Madsen up there at first base, but you don't got any of those guys up there. So it's kind of interesting that you're taking your designated hitter and one of the better catchers we have in the Corn Belt League, and you're really paying a lot of attention to him over the second.
I'm kind of surprised they haven't sent in a courtesy runner for him as well. I mean, get a little bit more speed on the base pads. As Madsen rips this one right to the shortstop. And the throw over to second in time. The throw over to first drops, so it'll be a fielder's choice there for Madsen as he heads over to first and provides the second out at second base for the top of the 7th inning.
What goes unseen on those types of plays is actually the slide into second base from the runner going to second. I think Chris Bolifer did a really good job right there on disrupting the throw from D'Angelo Duval. I think he brought him off the bag a little too far, disrupted his rhythm on the throw. That resulted in the fielder's choice.
No, there's a fine line to walk between the throw. As the throw over to second, the steal attempt by Madsen, and he's in there in time to advance to second base and get in scoring position.
Great jump from Cam Madsen. That was one of the best jumps we've seen so far in the Summer Ball Showdown in terms of steals. Cam Madsen was out and running before his leg even lifted off the ground. Perfect timing. That ball was spiked straight into the dirt from the catcher, from Samuel Estrada, who hasn't thrown a Corn Belt League guy out so far this game, but he's came real close. I think he has actually thrown one out now that I think about it.
He did get Burnett
right
in the first inning, so it's been a while.
You and I made that connection at the same time.
It's been a while. It's been a long time since that happened.
Right.
As we see Quentin Reed kind of crouching behind his mound, touching the rosin bag a little bit as Estrada looks like he's got an issue here with his catcher's plate, and he'll get that checked out by his teammates here soon. And well, it'll be a quick break in the action here as we get this figured out, but I mean, we'll keep it right here and we'll talk a little bit about this Corn Belt League comeback. I mean, really, Ethan, it started in the top of the 3rd inning where the Corn Belt League got one back. They were down 5-0. They get one back. It's 5-1. You think,
right,
okay, maybe there's a chance. And then they get 2 more in the top of the 4th, and now you're thinking this is a ball game.
Right. I mean, they went 9 unanswered runs. And originally in that 1st and 2nd inning, the Ravages put 2 runs in the 1st, 3 runs in the 2nd, and I thought this game could get out of hand if the Corn Belt League didn't wake up. Well, they took their caffeinated beverages, and they woke up pretty quickly. They got going. That top of the 3rd, 1 run. Top of the 4th, 2 runs. Top of the 5th, they exploded for 5. And then the next inning, they exploded for another run.
Well, you want to talk about exploding? Carson Burnett exploded on that one run in the 6th inning. A home run that was just initially, I didn't think it was going out, but then that wind that's carrying the ball out into right center field as Coach Vern Hasty is getting his jogging in there, and he'll run over back to the third base batter's box.
Will be noted, Vern Hasty is an ex-Marine or a former Marine.
He will always correct you there.
Former Marine, and he'll be proud to tell you that he served in the military. We've got to shout out Vern Hasty. Thank you for your service, Vern. He retired from the Marines in 1989, but does a real good job coaching this ball club.
Yeah, and you talk about the comeback. I mean, it's all in the hands of Hasty and Larry O'Brien over at first as the count sits now 1-1. With Madsen on second, it's Jackson up to bat.
You got two different coaches on third and first. You got two different styles of coaching out there, but they do complement each other pretty well, and they've sparked a 9-run unanswered comeback.
As here's Jackson. He fouls that one straight back and into the netting for a 1-2 count. 2 away here in the top of the 7th. Still a 4-run lead for the Corn Belt League. Have scored in 4 consecutive offensive innings. 1-2-5-1. Add those up, you get the 9. As here's the 1-2 to Jackson. Looking in for the sign is Quentin Reed. Here's the kick, and here's the delivery from Reed. It's in there, but it's low for ball 2.
And this wouldn't be a bad walk for the Ravages. It would give a force at first, second, and third. So this necessarily isn't a bad thing for the Ravages, but you would be putting 2 of your quickest runners out on the base paths, so you want to try to keep them off.
And after Jackson, it's top the lineup up, and running over to third is Madsen on the pass ball from the catcher. Estrada started the game extremely well. It's a full count now for Jackson, and
I thought that was ball 4. We must have the count wrong up here. I've been marking it in here, but I thought that should have been ball 4, but I guess not. It'll be a full count. We apologize.
Full count here. That one's roped right back up the gap. Does it get through? No, it's snagged out of the air. Just kidding. It gets through. It looked like it touched off the glove of Del Val over at the shortstop position. He looked like he caught it. An absolute gem, but instead it gets through. Jackson gets the RBI, and it's another run for the Corn Belt League.
5 straight innings that we've scored a run here, and the Corn Belt League's offense has exploded here in this game. We've now got a 5-run cushion here in the top of the 7th inning, as we haven't even thrown a pitch, and Braden Jackson's getting checked out over there. They must know of his speed. Lightning McQueen over there at first.
And so Braden Jackson over at first, and it's a 10-5 lead for the Corn Belt League. And fix that scoreboard here for you. We're not used to seeing double digits in this league, and so we get that scoreboard fixed right up as the 5-run lead, and it's a 1-0 count here with top of the order and Chris Calhoun due up for the Corn Belt League.
Yeah, Chris Calhoun, you go back to the top of the order. This is a bad spot. We got a new catcher, though. Havda is now at the plate behind the dish. That would be we'll get you a number here in a second, but we got a new catcher. We got number 5, Ben Havda, behind the plate, replacing Samuel Estrada. But I don't know if he got hurt or was having equipment problems, but we got a new catcher behind the dish for the Ravages.
Yeah, and maybe just desperation here. You're going to bring Havda up to the plate as well. But in the last game, Havda 0 for 3, 1 walk, 2 runs scored, however, in their 17-7 loss for the Ravages. And, well, the Corn Belt League, you can't let up off the gas right now. You're up 5. You got to keep pushing for more, because if you're tied 1-1 and you get 1 win and 1 loss like the Corn Belt League is aiming to do here, then the tiebreaker is all about run differential. And, well, the Corn Belt League is now in the positives. They're sitting at a +2 run differential currently. And they want more, though. And the most they can get here is to a +8 if they can tack on 5 more runs. +7, excuse me. They can tack on 5 more runs. The math was not working there. As it's a 3-0 count on the leadoff man, Calhoun. And it's a 4-pitch walk, and over to first goes Calhoun, and runners on first and second now for the Corn Belt League.
These are the 2 most dangerous runners you can have on base if you're the Corn Belt League. You got Braden Jackson, who was 3rd on the Red Raiders in steals, and then you got Christopher Calhoun, who led the whole Corn Belt League with 25 steals during the regular season. So 2 of the most dangerous hitters with the most dangerous hitter up at the plate with Carson Burnett, who went yard in his last at-bat.
went yard his last at bat, and like you mentioned, Braden Jackson, Chris Calhoun, both of them teammates as well on the Red Raiders, the team that led the league in steals. Burnett right back up the gap with this one, looking to beat out the throw. He gets past the shortstop, Del Val. Going home is Jackson. Is he going to get there in time? Yes, he is. The slide over at third. He's in there in time. And just like that, it's an 11-5 ball game. The Corn Belt League keeps on adding more.
11 unanswered runs. After going down 5-0 in the bottom of the second, going to the top of the third, they have not wavered. 11 unanswered runs. I've seen a lot of runs scored in a lot of ball games. I've seen a lot of baseball in my life. I played for 13, 14 years. But this is the most explosive offensive performance I've ever seen in a single. And Carson Burnett just got picked off at second base.
And Burnett gets picked off, so it'll be 2 runs in the top of the 7th for the Corn Belt League. They take an 11-5 lead as we head to the bottom of the 7th. We'll see if Novotny remains out there for the Corn Belt League, but either way, they need to hold on to the 6-run lead and tack on some more for a bye tomorrow if they're looking for that. It's been a great game so far, a great comeback, and we've still got more for you when we return on the Corn Belt League Network. And we're back here. Tanner Garcia leading things off for the Ravages in the bottom of the 7th inning. As a couple of defensive changes to go over as the man to my left, Ethan McCormick, and myself, Arnav Pokhrel, bring you action here from the Genesis Health Club Sports Complex. Ethan McCormick looking like a bird watcher out there with those binoculars in his hand. One change at shortstop, we can't confirm. Nick Riva comes out of the game. Caben Stevebach comes in, as well as a change at first base. Yeager comes out. Matthew Rivers comes in, and Ethan, what else? What other changes are you seeing out there?
Jeff Miller has been checked into the ballgame at second base, and then Dylan Fuller has checked into the ballgame at right field. And Yeager just made. Oh wait, no, that is still Yeager. That is my fault. That's still Yeager at first base. Yeager made a jumping catch right there for out number 1. But as I was saying, Dylan Fuller is now in the ballgame at right field.
All right, so a couple of changes. Rivers still out though. It looks like it is still Yeager over there at first for the Corn Belt League, and it's one away here in the top of the 7th inning, bottom of the 7th, excuse me, after the fly out to the first baseman. It'll bring up the catcher, Havda, who came in for Samuel Estrada just last inning. It looked like Estrada was either dealing with an injury to his hip or his oblique on the right side or some equipment issues. Either way, Havda comes in. And the Corn Belt League looking to keep this a 6-run ball game. Novotny still on the mound, been absolutely dealing today. Kind of wavered a little bit in the bottom of the 6th. We'll see if we can do it here. The bottom of the 7th. This one lifted deep into left field by Havda, but getting under it and making the catch is DeMonte. And just like that, there's 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th.
And DeMonte is as sure as a fielder as you're going to see. He made a diving catch in center field where he kind of tumbled a little bit to his left. And this defense out there on the that we have out there on the field is probably the best defensive outfield and infield that we could possibly have. So quality defense, and Dylan Novotny continues to just soar out there on the mound.
Yeah, Novotny's been doing it all, forcing weak contact, forcing easy flyouts, and blowing all these Ravages pitchers by with his fastball. Novotny has been absolutely incredible today. First pitch misses for ball one from Novotny there.
Novotny has thrown over 60 pitches, and his velocity has not wavered. It doesn't look like he's getting tired. It's just continuous gas and brake and just command and poise out there on the mound from Dylan Novotny.
And right on cue, he throws in a little breaking ball there for 1-1, and it's a 1-1 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Swung on right back up the gap it goes, and that'll be a base hit for Brookshire, who's in the game now and was at the at-bat there. He'll head over to first.
I'm going to correct you. I think that was Nito Avila. I saw a number 1 on the back of his jersey. I think that was Nito Avila who checked into the ball game. It looks like that's going to be the day for Dylan Novotny, but that was a great piece of hitting by Nito Avila. Took the curveball and just put his bat out there. But, yeah, it looks like we're going to see a pitching change here for the Corn Belt League.
But you cannot knock the night that Dylan Novotny has had. He is responsible for the runner on first base if they do come around and score. But either way, it looks like it'll be Bex to come in and finish this thing out. Drew Bex, the relief pitcher. And he'll get the call to the bullpen, and he'll run out there on the field. And everyone coming out of the dugout to congratulate Novotny on it. What was a great outing, and he's the reason this team, he's that spark. After he comes in, the Corn Belt League does not falter in a single offensive inning. We'll take a quick break here on the Corn Belt League Network. We'll come back. We'll talk about Bex when we return here on the CBLN. And we're back here at the 2023 Summer Ball Showdown, the Corn Belt League taking on the Dallas-Fort Worth Ravages. The Ravages, if you were active on our Corn Belt League social media over these past few days, they're one of the logos that we had to guess. And, Dylan Novotny was the man who got posted first, and he guessed, I believe it was the Darth Phantom spelled with an F, Warriors, because he saw the DFW and kind of just rolled with it. He was very wrong, and he got to pitch against them, and I think the Ravages know his name now, after an absolute gem of an outing from Novotny. It'll bring in Drew Bex. And Ethan, tell me a little bit what you know about Drew Bex, the relief pitcher here today.
Yeah, Drew Bex was one of the aces for this Rail Riders team, and 31 2/3 innings pitched, which places him second on the team in 143 batters faced, 13 earned runs with a 1.26 whip, 242 opponent's batting average, and a 2.87 ERA. He'll load up the strike zone with a 26-8 strikeout to walk ratio.
Yeah, that strikeout to walk ratio is what stands out here for Bex as he fires over to first to try and catch Avila sleeping, and it's Martindale up at the plate here with 2 away in the bottom of the 7th. Novotny just got relieved here if you're just coming in for Drew Bex, who is on the mound now. That one outside from Bex, and it's a first ball for a 1-0 count.
Bex is, like we mentioned, going to load up the strike zone. He's one of the best pitchers, when it comes to locating that fastball. Although we just saw Dylan Novotny paint the strike zone like Bob Ross. I mean, he's even got the hair kind of like Bob Ross. So
Bex fires back over to first and almost got him there at first. Avila able to get back and dive in head first into the bag on time, and it's still a 1-0 count here for Bex, working against Thompson, actually a pinch hitter here for Martindale. And it looks like the Ravages kind of throwing all their new batters out, all their defensive substitutions in there, as the count now sits 1-1 after the strike from Bex.
I'm so used to seeing Drew Bex's number 56 maroon jersey that it's kind of awkward seeing him in a gray 30 jersey, but he supports it pretty well. He looks pretty good in it.
Yeah, that 56 iconic, after an iconic season from Bex in relief. 12 appearances for Bex, 11 of them in relief. Just one of the most consistent guys. You throw him a few innings every single outing you can get him in. And so it'll be a 2-1 count now for Bex working against Thompson. And it looks like a swing and a miss there from Thompson to make it count 2-2. And, well, we're a little bit slow in this game. We started at 8 p.m. after the game before us ended in a mercy rule, so we were able to get this game started on time. But then this game has been a pretty long affair. It's already 2.5 hours in, and we've still got 2 full innings plus this 1 out left to go here at the Genesis Health Club Sports Complex in Goddard, Kansas.
This isn't even the last game of the day. They start a game at 11 p.m. here.
They do, and that one will run all the way until 2 a.m. most likely. It's some very, very late night baseball, if that's what you're a fan of here. I mean, they've got it all here. Summer Ball Showdown. They get games done at 11 a.m. and they get the games done at 11 p.m. So it's a long day for the staff, but we couldn't thank them more enough for how nice they've been to us and the rest of the Corn Belt League. As the count now sits 3-2. 4 backs, a full count pitch. In there, it's low and inside, and it looks like it'll ring him up for strike 3, and that'll be the end of the inning. It was a late call, strike 3 there, but Bex gets his first strikeout. It's a strikeout looking to end the 7th inning. We'll be back with top of the 8 action when we return. And we're back here, top of the 8th, action from the 2023 Summer Ball Showdown here in Goddard, Kansas at the Genesis Health Club Sports Complex here in Goddard. It's a beautiful complex. We can't say it enough over and over again. I mean, the 5 fields all in a circular arrangement. It's beautiful. New pitcher for the Ravages. It is Bobby Peterson wearing the number 2, and I believe his first pitching outing of the tournament as well.
Yeah, this is his first pitching outing. He went 0 for 3 in their game yesterday with a walk and a strikeout. We haven't seen him out on the mound yet this game, so this is the first time anyone has seen Bobby Peterson out on the bump. Went 0 for 3 in yesterday's ball game. Let's see if these Corn Belt hitters can start timing up Bobby Peterson.
And it's Nick Ripa leading things off here for the Corn Belt League in the 8th inning. Big hanging curveball there from Peterson, but it misses, and it's high for a 1-1 count.
Peterson's got to be really careful with those types of hangers, man. You don't want to leave those in the strike zone. Those in the strike zone can result in dingers.
That one misses for 2-1. Here's a 2-1, just low for 3-1. And Repo will step out and step back in with a 3-1 count. Here's a 3-1 delivery. Got him with a strike. So Repa, who was already on the way to first, will have to walk back, and it'll be a full count and a chance for Peterson to get him back here and put him away.
I know that's also one of OB's biggest pet peeves, but we'll see how he handles that when this game is over.
Yeah, I mean, it'll all be forgiven if Repa can make it to first, and he'll ground this one to the shortstop, and throw over to first is in time. It's low. It's picked off, and Repa will have to deal with the repercussions there from first base coach Larry O'Brien as Larry O'Brien stares him down and has a little conversation with him over there on the first base side. And Larry O'Brien still talking to Repa as Repa continues to walk to the dugout. And I'll bring up Matthew Rivers, the man from Des Moines Area Community College, a big first baseman who started in first base yesterday, comes in for Yeager today. And he'll work with one away here in the top of the 8th inning.
A hit-by-pitch machine led the league in on-base percentage and was also #1 in hit-by-pitches. It's the way he takes up that batter's box, and it expands the strike zone a little bit. With how big he is, it kind of expands the strike zone, so he's got to cover a little bit more area with that bat.
0-1 now here to Rivers with one away in the top of the 8th inning. Big swing and a miss from Rivers, and it's now 0-2. Here's the 0-2 with one away here in the top of the 8th. Peterson sets, kicks, delivers. Swung on foul ball into the other field. It goes from Matthew Rivers.
Matthew Rivers, we've seen Carson Burnett go out. We got word that the wind is pushing directly to the outfield, so it's at the back of the hitters. If Matthew Rivers can really get a hold of one and send that to the outfield, you could see that ball cross over the yellow padding out in the outfield.
Here's the 0-2 for Rivers. One away in the top of the 8th. Peterson, the pitch, the 0-2. Matthew Rivers, another good hit ball, but it's well foul, high and outside to the right, out of play, and it'll be another 0-2 pitch. Rivers just trying to stay alive here as he tries to get on base.
Great discipline from Matthew Rivers right there. That breaking ball had a little bit of a late break, and it went outside a little bit more than a lot of hitters would expect, but he anticipated it, and he got his bat on that. That's a great job staying alive right there by Matthew Rivers.
Another 0-2 pitch to Rivers. The pitch, that one inside for 1-2, and Rivers, good discipline not to swing at that one.
Yeah, really good discipline. That's the thing about Matthew Rivers. With that high on-base percentage, he gets on base a lot. Hit by pitches, walks, hits. He does whatever he can to get on base.
Here's the 1-2 now, and that one over the head of Rivers, who ducks under it just in time. It'll be 2-2.
Yeah, we've seen back-to-back pitches. Now he's knotted the count up at 2-2. He's gone back-to-back curveballs. I would expect him to go with the fastball. You don't want to go 3 straight curveballs right here on a 2-2. That would be really weird.
Yeah, here's the 2-2 against Rivers. Rivers lifts this one. High fly ball. Deep center field. Is this the shot? Yes, it is. Rivers goes yard. It's a home run in the top of the 8th inning. The man from DMAC, pinch hitting for Yeager, goes outside of the park. And oh my word, what a shot. We knew as soon as it left the bat, it was gone.
That's a dead center bomb from Matthew Rivers. He took that one straight over the feet sign in center field, and Matthew Rivers is going to get engulfed by a bunch of Corn Belt leaguers coming out of the dugout. How do you do, Matthew Rivers?
Wow, an absolute tank from Matthew Rivers, his first home run. The Corn Belt League's second home run in this game alone. Burnett hit one that just escaped over the right field wall in right field. That one was just 315. Matthew Rivers at least 390. That one cleared the wall by about 5 feet. An absolute tank from Rivers. The 0-1 now here as the next batter steps in. It's Anthony Nino. He can also get some good power on the ball as well. The fifth ballers hitter who led the team in RBIs at 13 by the end of the season. One of the best hitters in terms of scoring runners. One of the unluckiest hitters when it came to batting average. He would hit the ball in good places, but it would just be out. It would be fly balls. It would be sacrifice flies, sacrifice bunts for Nino. He got the job done, brought the fifth ballers to the championship before he fell. And it's now a 1-0 game with one away. Nino swings and misses. It's an 0-2 count.
Yeah, we saw Anthony Nino at multiple times throughout the season get one, absolutely shred a ball, but it went straight to the left fielder. Or went straight to the second baseman. He's got a lot of power. The exit velocity coming off that bat from Nino, very high. If he can get one in the air with this wind blowing at the back, we've seen 2 home runs now. Why not make it 3?
Here's the 0-2 to Nino from Allen County Community College. Big curveball. It misses high for 1-2.
I wonder how many career home runs that is now for Matthew Rivers, who took that one straight away dead center. That one looked like it went pretty much straight over that advertisement sign in center field. So what a bomb from Matthew Rivers.
Nino gets all of this one. High fly ball, left field. Is it back-to-back jacks? No, it just hits the wall. Nino will get a stand-up double. Oh, I thought he got all of that one. And if he was just a little bit later on that one, that one's gone.
I was about ready to run around this press box. I was about ready to do laps, folks. That was crushed. We were just talking about his power. We were just talking about how he gets unlucky. Well, he found the gap right there. As a left fielder, you can't really react to that, right? You got to kind of just go to that ball. That ball's hit with a lot of exit velo. You got to kind of just let that ball play off the fence. Can't really do a whole lot. Great rip from Anthony Nino. Now Nick DeMonte, who has had another spectacular day at the plate, comes up to the dish.
Yeah, Nino with a stand-up double brings up DeMonte here in the 6th hole. First pitch in there for a strike. It's 0-1.
DeMonte is quick, but he's one of the best bunters in the Corn Belt League. Does a really good job of keeping that bat through the barrel, or through the zone, excuse me. And he does a really good job. He's quick. He can beat out a lot of tough throws. He's one of the speediest guys we have in the Corn Belt League.
This one fouled off, and it's an 0-2 count here for DeMonte. And a reminder, it is 10 after 5 is the run rule. So trying to get 3 more runs out of the Corn Belt League here with 1 away, and then Bex could get a chance to close this one out early.
That's now 6 straight innings that we have seen a run scored for the Corn Belt League. If you look up at the press box, it's 0-0, 1-2, 5, 1, 3, 1.
Yeah, and there's been a run scored in every inning, whether it's either team. The first 2 innings, it was the Dallas-Fort Worth Ravages putting numbers on the board, but since then, it's been all Corn Belt League. It's been all zeros for the Ravages.
100%. This is an exciting baseball game if you love offense. If you love pitching, look no further than Dylan Novotny, who has thrown an absolute gem. This game has had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, good hitting, good pitching.
An ejection.
An ejection. It's a little bit of drama. I forgot about that one. That one happened way earlier in the game. J.J. Garcia got ejected. DeMonte rips this one through the gap into right field. Flying around third is Nino. He's sent home. Play at the plate's going to be close, but Nino sliding in head first, and it's another run tacked on for the Corn Belt League off the RBI single from Nick DeMonte.
And this Corn Belt League offense has just tacked it on. I feel like I'm playing or watching someone play MLB The Show with the look at this box score. This looks like the average St. Louis Cardinals game.
Yeah, just a lot of runs scored and not a lot of good pitching from one of the teams. Usually that is the Cardinals.
That's
But
Cardinals.
Me and Ethan both St. Louis Cardinals diehards, and we've been going through it this season. But the eighth inning has been kind to the Corn Belt League. It's another 2 runs tacked on, another 2 more, and we're in Mercy Rule territory for the Corn Belt League. And while we were talking about it before the game, the Corn Belt League had to make up a lot of runs here in run differential, and it looks like they've done just that. They take an 8-run lead here in the top of the 8th inning, and 2 more, and we're in Mercy Rule territory, and it'd be a chance to go +7 on the run differential between the 2 games.
That would be absolutely ideal. That would help the Corn Belt League out a lot when it comes to seeding.
The 2-0 count here, and it looks like stepping off the mound is Peterson, and he'll reset here with a 2-0. Runner on first is DeMonte. That one low. The runner goes. The throw is off the line. Did he get there? No, he did not. And DeMonte is safe at second with a stolen bag.
That was a really, really, really tough throw from Havda behind the plate. I thought that maybe The Val got him on the tag on the dive. That would have been one of the best tags I would have seen. That would have been a Javier Baez type tag, but Nick DeMonte got a great jump. He's so quick, and his slides are so efficient. He knows how to position himself away from the tag. That's a great play.
Great play by DeMonte to put himself in scoring position here for the Corn Belt League as it's Bolifer up to bat. He'll take that one for strike 2, and now it's 2-2 the count.
Bolifer asked the umpire where that's at. You have the right to ask where a pitch is located. You just don't want to argue said pitch. 2-2 count. Bolifer can give a bull bomb, and we can get closer to that 10-run rule.
Yeah, here is Bolifer lining up the 2-2. Peterson sets. He'll delay the kick a little bit. Now he kicks and delivers, and it's in there. Strike 3 looking. Got him looking, and Bolifer, the slow walk back to the dugout. He's unhappy with that second strike called, but that one a no-doubter for strike 3. It's 2 away in the top of the 8th.
That ball might have creeped outside just a little bit. It looked like maybe that ball was in the outside part of the batter's box. We got a new hitter. It looks like it's Dylan Fuller, the young man from San Joaquin Delta College or University out in California. We're happy this guy is on the team. He's got a lot of power. A lot of guys like to poke fun of him for bat flipping a double, but we'll see if he can bat flip a home run.
Hey, no better time to do than now. DeMonte's on second. First pitch up and inside, for ball 1.
DeMonte and Fuller were teammates on the Black Sox this season, so a little bit of chemistry with Vern Hasty actually coaching third base, who was the coach of the Royal Blue Dogs and the Black Sox, so a little bit of chemistry between the three out there on the field.
Here's the 1-0. This one high and into center field, but it'll remain in the field of play. Getting under it and making the catch is the center fielder Simmons. And that'll be all 3 outs for the Corn Belt League. However, they add 2 runs, one of them being a solo shot by Matthew Rivers, a man from DMAC, caught all of the ball. Dead center, at least 390, we say. And it's a 13-5 lead for the Corn Belt League. We'll have the bottom of the 8th when we return here on the CBLN. We're back here, bottom of the 8th, as the Dallas-Fort Worth Ravages look to gain a little bit back here on the run differential. They already lost by 10 yesterday. They're down by 8 here in this one today. Negative 18 on the run differential. Bex clipped the runner. They're going to check down to first and make sure it actually hit him, and yes, it did. And he'll head over to first. It's a leadoff hit by pitch.
That's a really good hit by pitch. You took the first pitch you saw for Yabdel Hernandez. You don't want to waste too many pitches against Drew Bex. Drew Bex is going to load up that strike zone and make you uncomfortable at the plate. Yabdel Hernandez took care of the base running. Now all they have to do is start getting some runs across the board.
All right, and Bex will set up with a man on first and Hernandez, and Simmons up to bat. Swung on a miss. Big first pitch strike there for Bex.
Yeah, and Gage Simmons, who has done pretty well in center field. He's made a couple catches out there. He has a hit in today's ball game. Except this Ravagers offense has rapidly cooled down up at the plate.
Yeah, we saw 2 runs in the bottom of the first, 3 runs in the bottom of the second. Since then, it's been zeros on the board. Little bunt there. Nino gets up, turns around, fires the first. It's in time for the out. The runner advances all the way to second, though, for the Ravages, but it is one away for the Corn Belt League.
That's a massive out. Great job by Anthony Nino getting behind the plate, getting out there in time, throwing on over to Matthew Rivers. The throw was a little bit low, but Matthew Rivers did a good job of getting that one so it didn't get into the turf. That's a really good play from the Filth Ballers catcher and the Filth Ballers first baseman. So really good job right there from both those two guys.
13-5 the score. We're into the bottom of the 8th. The Ravages up to bat. They're down by 8, and runner on second is Yabdil Hernandez, and up to bat is Rodriguez, who came in for the original leadoff man, J.J. Garcia, who was ejected earlier on in this game. First pitch fouled back. It's 0-1.
And the umpire is going to have a quick trigger. Going back on that ejection, the umpire is going to have a quick trigger when you're arguing calls out on the field like that, as well as balls and strikes. They're not going to handle a lot of that. They're going to want to get rid of you because that just creates a lot of drama. It's an NCAA rule book, actually, that's supposed to be a quick trigger.
That one in there just inside and catching the plate for 0-2. And Bex has an early lead on the batter in Rodriguez.
And that curveball had almost a straight vertical drop to it. That's almost a classic 12-6 curveball. We've seen a 12-6 curveball that has dropped off the plate before as a strikeout looking right there as Drew Bex continues to load up that strike zone. Electric curveball right there from Drew Bex.
Yeah, Bex is absolutely ruthless on the mound right now, bottom of the 8th. An 8-run lead for the Corn Belt League, and they're not taking their foot off the gas here. You need the runs, and it's actually kind of a good thing. We were talking about this during the break. It's actually kind of a good thing that the Corn Belt League didn't hit that 10-run mark in the top of the 8th inning, because then if the score remains the same, if it was 15-5, the game would end right here. The Corn Belt League would have a run differential of 10. However, because we're going to the 9th and the defense always has a chance to come back from a mercy roll, the Corn Belt League could absolutely load up. They could score 10 runs for all we know in the next inning and up that run differential even more for the CBL side. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen in the top of the 9th. We got to get there first. As we're still here in the bottom of the 8th, the 0-1 pitch from Bex. Outside, good block there from Nino. Again, you see that little bit of a lack of mobility there from Nino. He can't really shift his body over to block that with his chest. Instead, he has to kind of backhand it and poke at it with his glove. He got lucky there with that one.
And Anthony's one of the best defensive catchers that you'll see. He's a lot better than he was earlier in the season. A lot more throwouts, a lot more blocks behind the plate.
The 1-1 just catches the outside line for 1-2.
And we've seen a really good defensive game from D'Angelo DeVell today. He's been really solid at short after coming in after the Garcia ejection. He's been really solid.
1 strike away from bringing it to the top of the 9th. Here's Bex on the 1-2 count. Looks in for the sign. He sets. And Nino sets up outside the plate. Kick deliver. Runner goes. Swung on foul ball. And we'll do the 1-2 again.
Ravages were trying to work with the little hit and run situation. With the 1-2 count, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, and you're down by 8. That's kind of interesting. You're playing a little bit aggressively right there, down 8. I don't have a problem with it. I think you got to try to work back any way you possibly can. And a hit and run, especially if you barrel one up, could be a way to kind of spark that offense.
Yeah, that offense that has put up 5 consecutive zeros on the scoreboard. And Bex is 1 strike away from making it 6. Here's the 1-2 with 2 away in the bottom of the 8th here in Goddard, Kansas. Bex will step off the mound. There's a foul ball that comes in play, and it'll be umpire's discretion, and he'll hold up play as the Corn Belt League get rid of that one, throw over to third, and back out into the walkway it goes. So Bex will have to reset again. 2 away, 1-2 count. Runner on second is Yabdil Hernandez. A leadoff hit by pitch has put him on first and then moved him over to second. As here's the 1-2. Set the pitch. Outside for 2-2 now between Bex and the batter Del Val.
One thing I don't think gets enough credit is the pitch calling. Nino's done a really good job with the pitch calling today. The execution behind the dish, he's been framing really well. And he's been on par with all of his pitchers today. Really impressive stuff behind the dish.
Here's the 2-2 now from Bex. Runner goes. This one high fly ball into right field. Tracking is Fuller. He'll reach up. He'll make the snag. And it's an out to end the 8th inning. We'll head to the top of the 9th. The Corn Belt League, a chance to really pour it on and up that run differential when we return on the CBLN. Back here at top of the 9th inning between the Corn Belt League All-Stars and the Dallas-Fort Worth Ravages. An 8-run lead for the Corn Belt League after going down 5-0. It's been 13 unanswered for the side from Omaha. The first pitch here to the leadoff man who is up for the Corn Belt League, I believe. Drew Miller.
Yep.
Who is the second baseman. Came in for Braden Jackson here earlier on in the game. And Miller looks at ball 1, so it's a 1-0 count.
Miller had a couple nice hits yesterday, but unfortunately the defense for the Mud Daubers was able to kind of get to that in time. But Drew Miller is one of the best contact hitters. Doesn't have a lot of power, but he can get them in the gaps.
Looks at 3 straight balls on the outside, so it's a 3-0 count here for Miller. Out there pitching still is Bobby Peterson, wearing the number 2 for the Ravages. A team that wears yellow jerseys. We haven't really talked about the jerseys today. They wear jerseys that say Golden Chick on them due to their sponsors, but their logo, as you look on your screen, is dark blue, and the dark blue is what we thought we were going to see today. Instead, we see bright yellow and black, and is this one lifted into left center field by Miller, but it's right to the center fielder, Simmons, who makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
The wind's blowing out of the north now, so you're getting a lot more of those balls carrying out to the outfield. We got word that Matthew Rivers home run could have gone 400 feet, and he said he was down here in the walkway behind the plate, that had a loud pop to it. He could tell it was a home run right away. It was a no-doubter. So good job by Matthew Rivers right there. And, this Corn Belt League offense, they're cruising. They're on cruise control. And, they're not really letting up, and you like to see that.
As it looks like it is another pinch hitter here.
Ryan Malone, I believe, is the pitch hitter for the Corn Belt League All-Stars.
Malone scheduled a pitch, but after Bexus came in, pitched extremely well in relief alongside Novotny, Malone pushed into center field, or most likely right field, but he bats in place of Chris Calhoun right now.
Yeah, Chris Calhoun looks like he's getting relieved of his duties in center field today. So great day by Christopher Calhoun, but Ryan Malone gets a chance to hack at some pitches here in an 8-run ball game in the top of the ninth.
That one misses. It's ball 2 in the dirt, and it's now a 2-1 count for Malone. We've got a couple options here for player of the game as we keep assessing how the Cornwall League offense has played. I think the standout guy, obviously, Dylan Novotny. I think
100%.
he is the man who really inspired this Cornwall League team. But on the offensive side, I mean, Carson Burnett started the game off single, caught stealing at second, but he still reached the base and then had the home run. So he's 2 for 3 on the day. Also reached on an error, so he reached base 3 out of the 4 times he was up. So a good day for him as there's a strikeout there by Malone for the second out of the inning, and it'll bring up Burnett.
That was a very interesting call. That ball looked like it was in the turf. Looked like the catcher, Ben Hovda, had to kind of pick at that and keep that from going in the turf. Malone was ready to look at Vern for the call down, but the umpire rung him up anyway. That's an interesting call. Not going to argue it. You don't want to get ejected in the top of the ninth of an 8-run ball game, but not ideal.
And it will not be Burnett up to bat. Actually, it's Caven Steenbaugh who came in relief earlier. The first pitch misses for ball 1. Steenbaugh struggled a little bit yesterday, to put it lightly, and up in a clutch situation at the end of the game. He chased the pitch well outside of the zone to end the game with bases loaded for the Corn Belt League. Just an unfortunate way to end that one. Could have had a chance to come back as that curveball finds the zone for 1-1 for Peterson.
Steenbaugh has actually plays his baseball here at Newman University, which is just not too far down the road here. So he's got a lot of his coaches, his teammates out here, and he might get that one down the line.
He lifts that one down the right field line. Is it in? No, it is not. Just foul. And obviously you can't tell because of the dirt, and everyone wants to send that one to review. No more than Steenbaugh, who thought that one fell in fair. Larry O'Brien's out there pointing at the wall. He's probably pointing at the line, actually. Excuse me there. As OB is holding on to the ball. He'll get it back to the pitcher now. And it'll be a 1-2.
Honestly, OB might have had one of the best angles on that ball. He's right there. He's right there on the line. He might have had one of the best angles on that ball, but we got to send that to review. We got to send that to New York. That might have just creeped on the line.
Instead, it's 1-2. The Corn Belt League down to their last strike in the offensive side of the inning, and that one's upstairs for 2-2.
One thing that Caben needed to do from yesterday was settle down at the plate. He was getting a little trigger happy up at the plate, swinging at balls that weren't strikes, but it looks like he's settling in here today. One of the best hitters we had in the Corn Belt League season, so he's just got to settle in.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. He was right behind it and just blows by him, does Peterson. And just like that, we'll head to the bottom of the ninth. Last ditch here for the DFW Ravages to try and get something back, and we'll see what the Corn Belt League does in terms of pitching when we return here on the Corn Belt League Network. And we're back here, bottom of the ninth inning, last-ditch effort here for the DFW Ravages, and it's a new pitcher for the Corn Belt League from the Omaha Bombers. It's number 15, Colt Davis. The first time we've been able to see him in action today, in this tournament, I should say, really is just a big closer guy. Colt Davis from Wayne State College up in Wayne, Nebraska, went to Johnson Brock High School as well, and so a very, very big closer for the Omaha Bombers, who were the 7th seed in the regular season.
Yeah, he comes into this one with 31 1/3 innings pitched, facing 139 batters, 30 strikeouts, 15 walks. That's a pretty good strikeout to walk ratio. 132 RIP with a 220 opponent's batting average and a 220 or a 2.25 ERA. He's that stereotypical closer where he will throw gas, and this is the product from Wayne State College.
First pitch, low and outside for ball one, and you think back to the closer we saw last year here in the Corn Valley League, and oh my goodness, Noah Wing was absolutely electric. Was so close to a perfect 9-pitch, 3-out inning. All strikes would have been immaculate from Noah Wing. Instead, there were 2 foul balls, so it was 11 pitches, all strikes for Noah Wing last year in that first game against the McPherson Pipeliners. So we've seen some really good closers here in Wichita for this Corn Valley League side. Colt Davis has a big legacy to live up to. He's got some big shoes to fill in that closer role.
100%. He's got massive shoes to fill. Noah Wing can throw gas, but I think Colt Davis will fill into those shoes quite nicely.
That one just catches the outside half of the plate for 1-2, and 1-2 count. As Nick DeMonte has moved over to center field, Ryan Malone comes in to left, and Fuller remains in right for this Corn Belt League defense. Here's the 1-2, foul ball, well outside of play and into the other fields. So we'll do the 1-2 again.
As Cooper McCoy's now catching behind the plate, so Cooper McCoy comes in for the last inning.
I know, I like that change as well. You get a little bit of familiarity. Cooper McCoy also at Wayne State College, so you get a little bit of a common battery between Davis and McCoy, who have pitched together in college. Big swing and a miss. That ball into the dirt, and it looks like it didn't go into there. It looks like McCoy actually caught that one, so good work there from Cooper McCoy. The throw down, he actually threw it down to third and not first to make sure that the out was secured, and it's one away here in the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah, 100%. Cooper McCoy is actually from Lyon College. I think you might be thinking of someone else. No, you're good. You're chilling. You're chilling. Cooper McCoy, though, does have a lot of experience. He has caught some of the best pitchers in the Corn Belt League, and Carson Burnett, Quinn Zaborowski. He's caught some of the best pitchers in the Corn Belt League, so he can handle the gas. He can handle a little bit of heat.
I don't really know where I was looking there on my sheet. I thought he was from Wayne State. Maybe just a mental lapse there for me. You are right. He is from Lyon College, and now the 1-0 count here, as Davis has to go get the ball out well outside of the mound, and he'll step back in with a 1-0 and 1 away. Trying to put the Ravages to bed here as we approach 11:05 p.m. here in Goddard, Kansas. Good pitch in there. Fastball low half of the zone for a strike. It's 1-1. Davis, quick working here. He's set and ready to go. He's got that right foot twitching as he sets the 1-1 in there. It's low, and McCoy just blocks it with his body for the 2-1 count. And stepping out of the batter's box and resetting is the Ravages. Number 4, who is Darius De La Cruz. And he'll foul that one off for a 2-2 count.
We have not seen De La Cruz yet this year. This is the first, yet this tournament or this game. So this is the first time. A fresh look in the left-handed batter's box for the Ravages.
That one swung on and missed. It's a strikeout for Davis, and there's 2 away. The Ravages are down to their last out here in the ninth. Davis doing some great work on the mound, closing this one out. He knows his role, and he's playing it to perfection so far, but still 3 more strikes, 1 more out here left in this game before the Corn Valley League take home their first W of the 2023 Summer Ball Showdown. That one in there, low half of the plate on the outside corner. Good work by Davis there, painting the corners for the 0-1. Davis resets. Here's looks in for the sign from McCoy, and he gets set. The kick and the delivery just misses outside for 1-1.
Colt Davis doesn't even have a breaking ball. It's all fastball. It's all fastball. He's going to be blowing that gas right by you 99.9% of the time.
Another fastball, and it's in there for strike 2, and he's a pitcher that can locate that fastball like no other.
There's two things in life that are 99.9% effective: hand sanitizer and Colt Davis's fastball.
1-2 count. Down to the last strike are the Ravages. Swung on, fouled, and we'll do it again.
That ball hit right off of Cooper McCoy's mask. It domed him a little bit off the head, but that's why they wear those masks, right? It keeps them protected. Colt Davis just needs to really locate a fastball. I'd say fastball inside. You've gone high. You've gone a little bit outside. I'd go a little bit inside, see if you can get him jammed up on a 1-2.
Here's the 1-2 delivery from Davis. Looking to put away the Ravages. Swung on, foul ball, and we'll do it for the third time. With the 1-2 count and 2 away.
Huge shout out to Ben Hovda. He stayed alive. He looks really good at the plate, and he's came in and filled in for Samuel Estrada quite nicely behind the plate. Huge shout out to Ben Hovda. He's tasked with keeping this game alive for the Ravages.
Here's the 1-2 again. Swung on, high fly ball into right field, closing in, but it's going to fall for a base hit for Hovda, who will head over to first. He kind of took a big turnaround second. He thought the ball jumped over Fuller there in right field, but he'll return to first, and Hovda gets on base.
He did take a pretty massive turn. That's a really good piece of hitting, though, from Ben Hovda. He kind of chopped at it. Colt Davis went inside with that fastball, but he did a really good job of adjusting. Back in the batter's box, chopped at it, got it over the second baseman's head.
And so here we go. Another fresh count here as Avila's up to bat for the Ravages. That one low and inside. Hovda's on first. First pitch misses. Once again, it's 1-0. Just need one more out here if you're Davis. And the Corn Belt League comeback victory would be set in stone as the first 5 runs of the game were scored by the Ravages. The next 13 scored by the Corn Belt League. The 1-1 count now as Davis gets set. Looks in for the sign. And he'll step off the mound. And actually, that will be his at-bat timeout. And so, because he didn't throw the pickoff, he can no longer step off the mound during this at-bat unless it is for a catcher's meeting. Here's the 1-1. Davis sets. Leg kick, fires, delivers. This one foul, and it's 1-2.
1-2 count. The Ravages are down to their final strike and their final out. If bearing this pitch, this could be one of the biggest comebacks that we have seen in the Summer Ball Showdown from the Corn Belt League. This would be massive.
Just talk about the run differential. You go from -5 to +8, a 13-run differential. All 13 in a row scored by the Corn Belt League. This one, high fly ball, left center field. Closing in on it is Malone. Is that the out? Yes, it is. It's the final out of the game. And from 5-0 down, the Corn Belt League scored 13 unanswered to make it a 13-5 ball game. And just like that, the Corn Belt League gained their first victory in the 2023 Summer Ball Showdown here in Goddard, Kansas. And Ethan, an incredible showing from both sides. The Corn Belt League really just turned it on here in the top of the third and didn't look back.
100%. They got their foot on the gas with that offense. It all started in that third inning. They got 1 run, 2 runs, 5 runs, 1 run, 2 runs, 2 runs, totaling 13. They scored a run in 7 straight innings. They did exactly what they needed to do. And also, it revolves around Dylan Novotny. What a day on the mound from Dylan Novotny. Coming on in relief, absolutely dominated out on the mound. He's going to be your player of the game. We're going to get a post-game interview with Dylan Novotny. You can check that out on our YouTube channel as well as our social medias. But Dylan Novotny is the player of the game, and I think it all revolves around Dylan Novotny. 4-pitch mix, and he located every single one of those pitches. So quality game right there from the Corn Belt League, and we await seeding tomorrow.
Yeah, seeding will be decided very, very late tonight, probably into the 2-3 a.m. timeline, so we won't know if the Corn Belt League has to play 2 games or if they just have to play 1 tomorrow in that single elimination tournament. The pool play is done. It's do or die now for the Corn Belt League the rest of the way. Single elimination here at the 2023 Summer Ball Showdown. As for myself, Ethan McCormick, right beside me in the booth, and the PA guy to my right, Connor Shelton. Want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a fun ride for these 2 pool play games, but it gets serious now for the Corn Belt League. We'll have their first game tomorrow. We don't know which time. We'll have that after seeding is set after this 11 o'clock game right here on Field 3 tonight. As for now, once again, Arnav Pokhrel alongside Ethan McCormick. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great Friday and a great weekend. We hope to see you here tomorrow.